Welcome to the Dojo Talk Podcast. Please remove them shoes before entry.
Zen Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Looking to the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you. Blind ambition.
Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Serial Sensei. We are on episode 110. As always, you can check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please rate, subscribe, and leave a review. And we are also now on Spotify, so you can listen to us on there as well. Send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. Check us out on Facebook at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page. You can hit me up on Twitter at Serial Sensei. Those are all of the plugs. Now that all of that is out of the way, as always, I'm joined with my co-host, Antaku. What's going on, man?
Yeah, how's it going?
It's been a day. I've done a lot actually today. This is my second or third podcast. I recorded a lot today actually. I did too much work. Now all my days are running into each other.
I apologize that we were recording later than we normally would.
No, it worked out. I needed to eat.
Hey, we should look we're recording at it's nighttime now, because I had to work yesterday, but I'm a terrible decision maker. So Friday night I was like, you know what? I don't need this sleep. And then I stayed up until 6:30 in the morning, and then fell asleep for 30 minutes, and then proceeded to go to work. And I could not stay awake at all. As soon as I got home yesterday, I made it to the first round of the very first prelim fight, and then fell asleep until 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man, but you made it. You're here now. Yeah, I stayed up and watched it. There were a lot of fights this weekend. There was a lot going on.
There's always stuff going on.
Always, the world keeps spinning, punches keep getting thrown.
I'm starting to see why other sports have like seasons.
Right, like off seasons. I feel like it's gonna get worse next year.
It's never going to end.
Yeah, this is
the new real life.
Yeah,
welcome,
like
welcome to having your Saturdays monopolized by a company.
Yeah, this is like season 10 of MMA, and like there used to be like 10 episodes a season, and now they're like 35, and the show is not ending. It's not ending.
It's like did soap operas back in the day have seasons? Because they were like every day, right?
Yeah, I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did.
Oh, speaking of soap operas, I was at Domino's on Friday picking up a pizza, right? And they have a little TV in the corner. And this little boy and his dad and like his two brothers walked into the store. And they immediately, like the little boy walks over to the TV and immediately starts watching it. His dad, he's like yelling at him, come over here and sit down, I don't trust you. He's like, but I want to watch The Young and the Restless.
What?
I was like, damn, kid, you stay at home with your mom a lot.
Oh no. Oh no. Get the little one some guidance. I see.
I mean, if he likes it, he likes it, but like
it's like that's your default though. That's your go-to show.
I mean, it's not, like I'm pretty sure like The Young and the Restless is all there's left, right? Like General Hospital isn't around anymore.
I'm mad because actually one day I did look this up. I feel like we had this conversation at work before. Because I thought like all of these soap operas died off, but I think like one of them is still going.
Nah, there's still plenty of old people who don't know what Netflix is.
Yeah, they still watch. Oh man, that's his go-to. It's not the fact
that's what was on. Like, it was Young and the Restless.
I think it's not the fact that he wanted to watch Young and Restless. It's the fact that that was the very first thing that when he saw TV, that's what he thought of.
I mean, it was Young and the Restless. That's the thing.
Oh, so it was already on.
Yeah, it was on.
Oh, I thought like he turned it on.
No, it was on. Like, I walked into the store and they had the Young and the Restless. I'm like, that's weird.
Oh, I thought he turned it on and that's what he wanted to watch.
Oh, no, it was on and he knew what it was like from the get-go.
Yeah, he definitely stays home with my grandma. Yeah. That's how that goes. Man,
I remember being a kid and like they forced me to stay home with my great-grandmother and she'd just be playing like one telenovela after the next. I didn't understand what was going on, but somebody was always cheating on somebody. Like there was a lot of like weird incest stuff. Like I remember this one show where like the 16-year-old niece, and like it was her blood aunt, like it was her mother's sister, but she really wanted to fuck her uncle. It was really weird.
Soap operas, man.
Dude, like they are like Spanish soap operas are some of the craziest shit. Like, did you ever see that the really famous scene of just like the crazy woman who like attacks the boy with a pair of scissors?
No, I don't think I see this.
You can't watch it on the recording because it's like 15 minutes long. It's amazing. It's 15 minutes of television perfection.
Oh boy!
But you have to watch it eventually because it's amazing.
Are all those actors still alive? No, they probably are. Actors live a pretty long time. They're probably still alive.
I mean, they have money. Unless they did all the drugs.
No, they got reruns for days. They're getting residuals for the rest of their lives.
Do they do reruns? Like, because like, wasn't the whole point of like soap operas like they do one a day?
I don't know. For like Days of Our Lives, I don't know. They definitely had seasons though, so I feel like they had to. There's some channel somewhere still playing these. I would think.
Man, eventually, like I'd just be like, F it. I'm gonna just make up my own story, because they're doing it live, right?
That I don't know. I feel like after a while I would grow to hate my like castmates. Like we've been doing this show for 20 years. Like I don't like you guys anymore.
Well, I just probably just like never talk to them. I just come to say my lines and then go home.
Oh man. Soap operas, man.
Then like the intern is like, "Did you sign Jim's retirement card?" I'm like, "Who the fuck is Jim?"
You forget their real names. You just call them by their character names. Oh man. But, yeah, that was our soap opera talk. There you go.
This is what the people are here for.
All right, have at it. The top cities for the week. In terms of viewership, shout outs to all the viewers, listeners, people on Spotify, Tumblr, Twitter, all you good people. Number 1 this week, Torrance, California. Number 2, Smolik, Poland. I'm saying that right. Number 3, Doha, Qatar. Oh, number 4 is a notification from my laptop. Hold up. Number 4.
I'm sorry. Did you just say Qatar?
Oh, Qatar. Yeah, Qatar. Yeah.
Like the country that is supposed to host like was it the World Cup in 2020 or some shit?
Yeah, they're out there.
The fuck? I
don't know why y'all are here, but hey. Hi. It gets weirder. Number 4, Nampa, Idaho. I don't know who in Idaho clicked here and got here by accident, but what up? We appreciate you. And coming in at number 5 is the Bronx, New York. So shout out to you guys wherever you are across the globe. I really don't know how some of you guys got here in these other countries, but hey man, I'm not mad at you. We're glad to have you. If you clicked here by accident, just keep clicking here by accident, and you'll find something you like eventually.
I just imagine like they're all like American, and some of them are just using like VPNs.
That could
or something. I don't know.
You guys bootlegging our free show.
Oh, they're bootlegging somebody else's stuff.
There you go. They're bootlegging
They-
something else and they're listening to us on the side.
Yeah.
There you go. That all works out.
So they're out there downloading, like, I don't know, what's in theaters. They're downloading Bohemian Rhapsody. They don't want to get caught.
Go give. Well, Freddie Mercury's not alive anymore, but.
Yeah, fuck that movie.
But yeah. So appreciate you guys for listening. I guess off top.
But before we go into anything, I have the hottest of updates. So you know what drops this week? Creed 2. Now I have to ask you, did you see Creed 1?
I was just gonna say I was supposed to watch Creed 1 and I still haven't yet.
Okay.
I have not.
Because Joey asked if we're going to do our Creed 2 takes. And I feel like I've said this before on the podcast, but I've not seen any of the Rocky movies to completion, including Creed 1.
Oh man, I know I watched Rocky 1. Now, do I remember it? That's a completely different story. I know I watched Rocky 1, and then I saw the whatever the Rocky comeback movie. I want to say it was like 5 when he fought Antonio Tarver. I watched that one. I remember watching that one.
Scarily appropriate.
Because Rocky lost the fight. I remember. I vividly remember at least like the ending of that one. I think I've just seen bits and pieces. Yeah, I never completed all the Rocky movies either, and I never saw Creed like at all. I haven't even seen like, and I've had it spoiled for me already, but it's my fault. The movie's been out for like 20 years. I never saw it.
Michael B. Jordan became an international superstar in the time it's taking you to see Creed.
That is true. That is true. But
I mean, like the only thing I know about Creed is apparently he won the title like 10 months after his first pro fight, and that pissed me off. Because I was a guy. That's not how this works.
Yeah, in boxing you gotta go like 36-0 first.
You are not Ukrainian. You can't do that shit.
You know, if I get around, I'm gonna try to watch Creed. I actually do like want to watch it. I have a lot of just stuff I'm working on, so I get tired and old, and when I get downtime, I kind of don't want to do anything. But I'm gonna try to watch it because I do want to see Creed 2. But to be honest, if I see Creed 2, it's probably gonna be really late. Like Creed 2 will have been out for like a month, and I'll see it then. But if I do watch it, I'll give my take on here. We'll see how it goes. But before we get started with news, real quick, on the rest in peace tip, rest in peace Stan Lee, rest in peace to Kim Porter. For those who don't know, Kim Porter, that was Diddy's. I don't think they were married, so I want to say girlfriend. They dated for a really, really long time. They had like 2 or 3 kids together. But she was like a model, actress, so on and so forth. I think she died of cardiac arrest, I want to say, at only age 47, which is kind of wild. But rest in peace to her. That was just a really wild headline, just really random headline to read. Can't remember the day it happened, but rest in peace to her. And obviously R.I.P. Stan Lee. I actually found out Stan Lee was dying like while I was playing Spider-Man, so that was kind of crazy. And he had a cameo in the game, which made it even like crazier. But yeah, rest in peace to Stan Lee, man. If you grew up in the Saturday morning cartoon era, you know, watching X-Men and Spider-Man and all that good stuff, he was he pretty much played a hand in shaping a lot of childhoods and really, I guess you could say adulthoods with the way comic book movies are now and this, you know, whole MCU universe and Netflix shows. You know, this man contributed to all of that, and played a pretty big hand in it. So, rest in peace to Stan Lee. He passed away at 95. Definitely lived a pretty full, complete life. If there's anybody who lived out their dreams while they were on Earth, it was that man there. So rest in peace to Stan Lee. Anything else before we get started? Or you got any notes? Anything you want to
add? Nothing that wouldn't be a bummer. So.
All right. So now we got
an already bummer note. So.
Yeah. Now we got the sad stuff out the way. Excuse me. On to news and notes for the week. Pretty decent amount of news. I feel like there's more news about fights than actual fight matchups, but you know, that's life. But starting from the top, a couple of big fights still announced. Probably one of the biggest, UFC 234 is now official. I don't remember if we mentioned this last podcast or if it was official, but if it wasn't, Kelvin Gastelum, Robert Whittaker, middleweight title, UFC 234. I didn't write the date down, forgot the date, but I know it's sometime 2019.
February something.
Yeah, so that's going to be a really awesome fight, and I will throw my hot take out there that Kelvin Gastelum will be the middleweight champ, and then he'll lose his first defense. That's my random hot take, but definitely looking forward to that, man. That's going to be a really awesome fight. This next fight, I hesitate to announce this, but it popped up. I wrote it down. I hesitate to announce this fight until like they actually touch gloves and they're in the octagon. But for the sake of news and notes, returning from a 4-year layoff, Nick Diaz, coming back from the dead, coming back from playing with nunchucks and doing whatever Nick Diaz does in his spare time. He will be fighting Jorge Masvidal at UFC 235. I don't really know how this matchup got made, but at the same time, I'm not mad at it. It's kind of random and out of nowhere, but hey, man, when is a Diaz, like, Diaz fights always have just something weird or crazy surrounding them, so I feel like this is almost fitting.
So I have two theories. One, Nick Diaz doesn't actually watch MMA, and he remembers Jorge Masvidal from Strikeforce. Because they probably fought, fought on some same cards, or some press conferences together, whatever. Two, Nick Diaz looked at the top of the welterweight division, realized they were all really good wrestlers. It was just like, fuck yeah, I'll fight Jorge Masvidal.
I feel like both are probably true. Probably more so true that he doesn't watch MMA in his spare time.
Yep.
Yeah, he saw Jorge Masvidal and he was like, yeah,
that's a guy.
Yeah, remember that guy.
He likes to punch.
Yeah, didn't he fight that? Oh yeah, he fought Gibbler. He fought Gibbler and Gibbler beat him.
So I can beat him.
Yeah, so I can beat him. You know, and then, yeah. So that's the thing, allegedly. But we'll see how that fight turns out. Other fight announcements: Marcus Perez versus Anthony Hernandez will be going down at UFC 233. At the Beijing card, Louis Smoker back in the UFC, this time at bantamweight. He will be fighting, forgive me for butchering his name, Sumu Dejiri, or Dejiri, sorry, that was an I at the end, not an U. Sumu Dejiri. And they spelled his name Sumu Dejiri, so I don't...
I'm assuming that's a stage name?
Yeah.
Either that or I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about Chinese naming habits. Like, I don't know where he's from. Like, in China.
Yes, that's what I was wondering. Like, I don't know if that's just a thing they do over there, but Sumu Dejiri versus Louis Smoker. Smoker returning to the UFC at bantamweight.
I'd like to point out, this is like the second Chinese fighter that they've signed who's coming in off a loss. He got knocked out in his last fight, or submitted, my bad, by Hao Bin Ma. Yeah, like he got submitted in his last fight, so I'm a little. I don't know where they're getting these fighters from. It's like that time they signed the heavyweight dude who's going to be on this card, I think. Yao Song Hu. Like, where did you get this name from? Like, it's weird. I don't know.
So somebody's scouting talent somewhere.
Either that, or they're just like, somebody is there is just being like, yo, you should sign this dude. He's really good. And the UFC is like, yeah, whatever. We need Chinese fighters to go to China, so.
That's probably more accurate. They probably didn't even watch the tape.
Dude, I'm pretty sure unless Shelby and Maynard are watching a Cage Warriors or a Bama card or something like that, or an LFA card, they do no tape review. It's just managers going to them and being like, "Hey, I got this guy," or "Hey, I trained with so and so I went to a gym in China and worked out with this guy. He's really impressive. You should sign him." Or this guy came to AT&T last week and he's pretty good. You should sign him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of those dealios.
Either way, he made it on the card, so we'll see how that goes. And obviously, Louis Smoker at bantamweight because flyweight is everything but gone.
The last flyweight fight in the UFC, which might not even be at flyweight because we're not sure either one of those guys can hit 125.
Lord.
Yeah.
But moving on down the notes, since Paulo Costa pulled out of the Romero fight, Romero is aiming for Anderson Silva, and that would be on the ESPN Plus card if that does happen. I don't want to see Anderson Silva get his head knocked off, but that could potentially be a thing if they decide to make that fight. Replacements, Alex Hernandez is replacing Islam Makhachev. Makhachev was supposed to fight Francisco Trinaldo, but ended up having to pull out, so we'll get Alexander Hernandez instead against Trinaldo. That'll be at UFC 233. Mr. Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena is moving down to featherweight. I don't know why.
It's not going to make him a better striker.
Yeah. I saw this headline and I was like, I don't understand what this is. I don't know what you're trying to do with the featherweight thing, but I don't think it's the answer.
Yeah, Trizano was a featherweight before he got to the UFC, if I remember right. He could probably make that weight again. So, it's not going to fix his problems.
Yeah, but, hey, man, I don't know. Maybe you got some secret we don't. More power to you, but I don't think it's going to solve anything, but we'll see how that goes.
He's just
he's going to end up fighting Du Bronx.
Yeah. He's just a really inexperienced dude. He's got some potential, but that takes time. Maybe he's moving down because featherweight's just a less dense division than 155.
That is true, but it's still not a lot easier. There's still some killers down there as well. But
yeah,
best of luck to him. The saddest news for me, Tom Duquesnoy is out of his UFC 232 fight with Nathaniel Wood due to, and I had to write this down because I'd never heard of this before, an intercostal hematoma, whatever that is.
He has a hematoma inside his head?
I think it's like a rib.
Oh, okay.
Or something. It's some kind of swelling, and I guess when it gets too bad, it you have really trouble, a lot of trouble breathing.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. So I just saw the intercostal hematoma. I was like, what is that? But the Duquesnoy had to pull out. Don't know if there's a replacement, but he is out of that fight, unfortunately. Also, in other news of fights not happening, Mirsad Bektik is out of his UFC 231 fight with Renato Moicano. Don't know if they have a replacement. I would hope so because I want to see Moicano fight, but so that scrap won't be happening. In Bellator news, Anatoly Tokov. If you don't know him, he's the gentleman who recently beat former Bellator middleweight champ Alexander Shlemenko. He has a younger brother named Vladimir, who is 3-0 that Bellator just signed. He is a lightweight. I haven't watched any of his fights, so I can't really tell you if he's good, one way or another. But just something to keep an eye on. Also, in terms of signings, Benson Henderson signed a new long-term deal with Bellator, so I guess it's kind of seeming like that's probably where his career is probably going to end at. So he signed a long-term deal with them. Meant to mention this earlier. Kron Gracie, who was formerly with Ryzen, it is rumored that the UFC is looking to sign him and book him on a fight for UFC 233. Don't know if they had an opponent in mind, but looks like that may be happening.
Like, I'm not against the signing there, but like, Kron's gonna fight like once a year at most. Like, he does not seem to like MMA. Like, just hearing him talk about it, it's like he just does it because he just wants to prove jiu-jitsu's the best.
I don't know. Maybe the UFC got tired of Bellator snagging up all the Gracies. they had to go get one.
I mean, they snag up all the Gracies that are like, I can't even call them bad because the Gracies before them weren't even that much better.
Oh man.
Shouts to Roger.
Leave Roger out of this.
But like Kron has the best win a Gracie's gotten in a long ass time. He beat Kawajiri.
I don't know. Maybe I was gonna say maybe the UFC will inspire him to compete more. Who knows? But
maybe just I don't know. Where the hell has he been?
I don't know. He hasn't been on a rising card in like
2 years.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Kron been chilling. Well, whatever he does in his spare time, it has not been fighting. Or
Jiu-jitsu
he's not
stuff.
in the ring. Yeah, jiu-jitsu stuff. Just like
surfing.
Yeah. he's been doing everything not fighting, but you know that looks like it's going to be a thing. And one of the more flashy headlines, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm mad that of all the headlines, this is the one I chose to deep dive into. So everybody's favorite fighter, Cody McKenzie. You know he's still out here.
Yeah. The GOAT.
the true GOAT, the man with the best shorts in the business. So he was suspended 4 years from the Nevada State Athletic Commission because he refused to take a drug test after he submitted a fake urine sample.
Power move.
And that's not even the craziest part of this story. There's more. So I saw the suspension headline like early that morning. Later in the day, I get a follow-up to this story. So in addition to this suspension, Mr. Cody McKenzie's firing back, and he is accusing one of the, I guess you would call him like one of the athletic like commission people. I don't know. I guess whatever they call the people who come to your house and make you do the test. Those guys. He's accusing one of these officials of sexual harassment. And this story, and I didn't write the story down. I just remember it because it was wild. So according to McKenzie, they were trying to get him to piss in the cup. He's not trying to piss in the cup. He's warming up for his fight. And according to him, like his fight was in like 5 minutes. They're trying to get him to piss in the cup. He's like, no, I'm warming up for my fight. I'm not doing that. And apparently the official gentleman, I guess he felt the need to demonstrate.
I'm reading.
He felt the need to demonstrate how one needs to piss in a cup. So in Cody's side of the story, this gentleman, he whipped out his junk, and he told him, listen, you need to do it like this. And he held his junk, and I don't remember reading if he actually peed in the cup or he just went through the motion. But the moral of the story is he whipped out his junk in front of Cody, and Cody in turn told him, hey dude, you can't do that. That's sexual harassment. Something, so on and so forth. There have been complaints going back and forth. I don't know if like he actually sued them or is pursuing a case for this. But yeah, another day in the life of Cody McKenzie. I saw that headline and I was I hope that guy didn't really take out his junk because that's just
like
in a room with Cody McKenzie, you should not be the wildest person.
Like
I don't even know what to say.
Like on the one hand, like it's not funny. But on the other hand, it's the funniest thing I've seen the whole time. Like if that really happened, and it's like And Cody McKenzie is like totally the type of person who would make a PS story like that. But it's also too crazy to not be true. So,
Yeah, I couldn't fully dismiss it.
I can't be dismissive of it. I can't. You're right. But
like this is MMA. This would happen in the sport.
Like I could totally see someone from the Nevada State Athletic Commission just whipping out their dick and just being like, "This is how you pee in a cup." But at the same time, it's Cody McKenzie.
Yeah.
Like if it happens to him, I hope he gets whatever form of justice.
Yeah, whatever justice one would get from
such a situation, because that's wrong.
Yeah, and it's just weird.
Guys, like all the guys listening to the show out there, don't whip your dick out at people.
Yeah.
That's just a
weird. That's just a weird go-to move. Like, if that is the first thing you think of to do, something is really wrong with you. Like you need help.
Like, if you're doing that, like, there's something tells me you've done it before.
Right.
You're like it's your first day on the job, and like I want like who from the like who did the commission send? Do they just like hire people?
Yeah, that I don't know. That
Like, do they have a company that they work with who goes and like does?
I would imagine it has to be like a company, because I'd imagine it's probably the same like batch of people who see these fighters. But then that makes it worse, because if he just whips his junk out, that means you've definitely done this before.
Like, if it's just some like sleazy fly by night like not drug taking like blood taking company or piss like God, what I don't remember what the people who took my blood test for my job was. But like if it's one of those companies and they just like hire whoever, like all you have to do is like fill out a form and you can go and like collect piss samples. Like I can totally believe it. If it's like fucking what's his name, the Nevada State Athletic Commissioner is like in your dressing room whipping out his dick, going like, "This is how you pee in a cup. It's not fucking hard." Then maybe I see a little bit more fault with his story. Then again, I don't know what the athletic commissioner is like, so maybe he's that crazy. It's Nevada.
Who knows? I almost don't want to get to the bottom of that story. But either way, he's suspended 4 years. I don't think that's being overturned. So.
I mean, like you think that would stop Cody McKenzie?
No.
He's going to be fighting in like a barn.
Yeah.
Like my initial reaction was, yeah, of course he didn't show up. He was on this freaking like fishing boat where he lives on for like 4 months out of the year, just like hunting for like crabs and trout and shit in the Arctic Sea.
Oh boy, Cody McKenzie. But that was a story that happened.
It sucks the further away we move away from that era of MMA, where literally anybody could do it, because we're moving farther away from the people like Cody McKenzie.
I don't know. I feel like guys like him, they'll always be in this sport in some way, shape, or fashion. They're too.
Like you see, we go from like one overachiever, who is just. What's the nicest way to describe Cody McKenzie? I was gonna say backwards, but that's just too mean. Let's just say a rare type like Cody McKenzie to somebody like an overachiever like Neil Magny, who's just kind of bland. He's just a hard worker. Cody McKenzie just had like a gimmick.
Hey man, whatever works, whatever keeps the checks coming in. Cody will end up in Rising somewhere.
Just go fight in Russia.
Yeah. Bring your shorts with you. Keep the tag on.
Just go fight. Oh, you can fight Sage Northcutt. There we go. Sage Northcutt needs an opponent.
The impurity that Sage would be exposed to
Oh my god, it'd be like, remember our discussion about how like a Nick Diaz James Northcutt fight would like the buildup would be like?
This would be
This would be like that, but on steroids.
that weigh-in stare down would be crazy. Oh man! I hope the majority of you out there know who Cody McKenzie is. If you don't, do your MMA homework.
You missed.
Yeah, you missed the. I can't really call it an era, but
it was an era. There will never be another fighter in the UFC like Cody McKenzie, for better and for worse.
All right, go relive one of the greatest greatest personalities this sport has come in contact with.
Just existences. Like, dude's a meme.
He is the walking. He wasn't actually. He literally was a meme.
He
was a gif. He was a gif. Yeah, if you look up the Cody McKenzie gif, you'll realize who Cody McKenzie. I forgot that he was a gif. He was one of the most popular gifs at the time. Yeah, Cody left his stamp on this sport, man. And it wasn't because of fighting. Or it kind of was. He had an epic highlight reel that he was on the bad end of. But
those low lights are crazy.
But, yeah, just go look up Cody McKenzie. But last bit of news, and I'm not even going to expound on this too much because we've dug enough with this story. But apparently the Floyd Mayweather and Tenshin Nasukawa bout is back on. So allegedly, from the little bits and pieces that I've seen and heard, some of this news, I've heard from Floyd, other I've heard just or read on like random websites. So this alleged bout that will allegedly take place at some point, it'll be an exhibition match. Knockouts are allowed. No matter who wins, or there won't technically be a winner or a loser because this isn't counting on anybody's record. It'll probably be in a crowd of rich people. I would imagine like what's that karate combat? That's how I'm picturing it in my head. Like karate combat, but probably in like a ring.
No, it's gonna be out New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be on the Rising thing. Yeah,
it's amazing because it's not gonna be like. I was gonna say, how much do you think Ryzen would pay Floyd to take a dive, but
yeah, but there's no dive to. I mean, he's getting paid for the appearance, but there's no winner or loser, and I think according to Floyd, this will be a 3-round exhibition, and it will be boxing rules, so no rolling thunders unless tension's feeling froggy.
And again, like what is anybody gonna do because there's no athletic commission to stop him? Like well. I guess there's a boxing athletic commission, but I don't think they have to get the fight regulated if it's an exhibition. So
hey man, tension. If you're feeling froggy,
do it.
you get tired of that bobbing and weaving out there.
Go and become a legend. I'm just saying.
You'll definitely be on ESPN.
ESPN, New York Times.
Yeah, it'll all work out for you. You'll live in eternity forever.
On Instagram.
That'll be a meme. But yeah, that's all the news and notes for the week. and combat sports at its finest. Just fight announcements, piss tests failing, and people whipping their junk out, and exhibition fights. This is
I'm glad you wrote that one down because I completely forgot about the Cody McKenzie story.
Oh no, I was keeping track of this like it was a Netflix series. I was on this story.
Cody McKenzie should sell his story to somebody who's going to make like a TV show out of it.
He could get like a little 5-episode miniseries.
It'd be compelling as hell. Like the UFC would just be like one episode.
Yeah. Because I don't know what he's been doing since then, but he's still here.
I mean, dude, like he's been on the boat. That's what he is a professional like seaman. He goes out to sea for 6 months out the year to go, like, crab fishing.
A legend. A true legend. Huh. But yeah, that's the news and notes for the week. So there actually were moving on. There were a host of fights that went down. This basically like from Friday all the way up until the end of this weekend. So we'll briefly touch on a few of these, and then we'll head over on to UFC Argentina. But let's make our little first pit stop. Talk a little bit of Bellator real quick. Bellator 209 went down on the 16th. I want to say the thing of Saturday. No, Friday night.
I think it went down on Thursday.
Yeah, in the real world it went down on Thursday, like in real time. On the zone tape delay, it went down the following day. So we have tape delay fights in 2018. That's a thing.
Good, because Bellator never learns.
Yeah. So you thought you were paying for the zone to get real live, you know.
Yeah, the messed up part is this card probably would have got like maybe not like mainstream buzz, but like MMA. Like there would have been like a lot more MMA people talking about it on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, which Bellator kind of needs because they need to activate like the hardcore fans. But like Davis lost, Cindy Dandois lost. They had a really great main event that went all 5 rounds. Like if this had been live, like there would have been a little bit of buzz and there would have been like a ratings peak at the end because there would have been people talking about it. But
yeah, and
Baby Fedor was on the card. Damn it.
Yeah, the tape delay turned a lot of people off, me included. When I found out this was on tape delay, I literally only went back to watch the main event and just didn't care to watch the rest of the card.
You missed the 2 biggest wins in Israeli MMA history.
I don't know. Maybe I'll go back at some point. I don't know. Ryan Couture being a co-main didn't.
You mean
hold up.
Ryan Couture fighting a man the age of his father didn't interest you?
Hold on. So Ryan Couture co-headlined over Phil Davis and them.
Well, technically, what's his name? Haim Ghazali co-main evented over Phil Davis and Vadim Nemkov.
Jesus. Ooh, I would be offended.
I mean, that's to whoever is paying Bellator to go to Israel for you.
Ugh.
That man is 45 years old, by the way. Like, I wasn't kidding. He's Randy Couture age.
That's terrible. Yeah. But the main event though, Patricio Pitbull, Manuel Sanchez. I was really hyped for this fight, man. On paper, this is definitely one of the better fights you'll ever see from Bellator. It was really interesting because if you've been paying attention to Sanchez, he's been on a nice little tear as of late. He's gotten some of the best wins of his career as of recent. And he was just looking like to be that next guy, that new face at featherweight to interrupt the patty cake belt switching that had been going on for a while.
Yeah, he still might be.
Yeah, it still could be. As Antaco mentioned earlier, the fight did go all 5 rounds. I mean, Sanchez lost, but not for lack of effort. Like, he was going for it, man. He was bringing the fight. He was trying, but at the end of the day, I think Patricio solidified that he's a legit top featherweight. Just more experienced, stronger, hits harder. Dude is a tank at featherweight. Yeah, man. Sanchez gave it everything he got, but I just think Patricio was he's just Patricio, man. Like, dude he's legit, and with this win, he is the all-time. Oh God, what was the record again?
Winningest Bellator fighter.
Yeah, I think at 16.
It's like 16, 17, or 18, something like that.
So that's kind of wild, but it's wild, but not if you think about it, because Patricio he's been wrecking shop for a long time, man. Dude is
almost a decade. He's been Bellator since like 2010.
Yeah, and he's been in a lot of great fights. He's had a lot of great performances. This dude he's been one of Bellator's like all-time greatest fighters. Dude's an animal, man. He is legit. like I said, Sanchez was making the fight competitive, but Patricio just he was just Patricio. He gave him too much to handle. Yeah, man. But really, really good performance from Pitbull. And for Emmanuel, tough loss, but I think his only losses have been to like pretty much like elite competition. In terms of Bellator.
Yeah, he lost a split decision to Weichel. He lost a decision to Curran back when he was just getting in Bellator. I think he only had like 2 fights with them. But like, yeah, he's basically only come into his own really over the past like 2 years, like 2017, when he beat Georgia Karakalian and just kept winning from there. So, like, he's still got another title shot or 2 in him.
Yeah.
Especially in the division where like there's only a handful of fighters coming up at a time. Like realistically, past Sanchez, and it's like Corrales and AJ McKee, and that's it.
Yeah. I would imagine him. Yeah, McKee probably will be next up, depending on what they do with him yet. But yeah, Sanchez will definitely be back in a title shot. I would imagine somewhere in the future. Dude is still really talented. Still time to get better. Like I said, he's kind of just now hitting his stride. But running into Pitbull is no easy task. You're hitting your stride, and that's what's waiting for you at the other end. The best of luck to you.
Yeah, like, seriously, if you're an MMA fan and you haven't been following Pitbull's career, like go back and watch his first and second fight with Pat Curran. Was like his second and third fight with Daniel Strauss, or was that his fourth?
Man,
go watch his second, third, and fourth fight with Daniel Strauss. His fights with Daniel Weichel, just like those fights, and his fight with Henry Corrales. Like he's fun, he's really good. He's probably a bantamweight if we're being real. So like because he's like 5'5". Like he's the best fighter Bellator has ever kept in house. I'm gonna just go out and say he's better than Hector Lombard. Ben Askren left, so and his resume is better than Askren. So do with that what you will.
I just want him to fight Chandler before it's all said and done.
I mean, I don't know why they don't do that fight.
Yeah, that just needs to be a thing.
Other than, Chandler doesn't have the belt right this very second.
Who cares about belts anymore? Well, we'll see. The Brent Primus fight that'll allegedly happen. I think that's next month, actually. That'll be the thing. Maybe they can make that. That'll be like a super fight or something.
Like Brent Primus kicks Chandler and Chandler just breaks a finger.
We'll see. But yeah. So if you go back and watch anything from Bellator, definitely watch that fight, man. And respect to Pitbull, man. Breaking records. Dude's been just wrecking shop for a long time, and he hasn't stopped. He's still out there consistently, just being great. I think you watched more of this card than I did, so I don't know if there are any other performances you want to highlight.
I completely tuned out Ryan Couture versus Haim Ghazali in favor of watching investing my attention in Invicta. But I watched the first 3 fights on this card. Next fight down after the co-main event between Couture and Ghazali, just for the record, Couture won it by decision. Vadim Nebkov took a split decision over Phil Davis, establishing himself basically as a top 5 light heavyweight, which feels like it should be bigger news than it is. Like, if this had happened in the UFC, the talk around it would be nonstop. Like, but it happened on the tape delayed Bellator card in Israel.
Yeah, that tape delay really screwed them over.
Yeah.
Well, they screwed themselves over, but
I mean, short term, like they screwed themselves over short term and long term here, or maybe just long term. I don't know how much they get paid to go to Israel, but yeah, Nemkov won a slow kickboxing match with Phil Davis, which Phil Davis has gotten away with having and winning for years now. Davis kind of came alive in the third round, got the takedown, was like hunting for submissions, but for the first 2.5 rounds, he was pretty content to just like kickbox with Nemkov, and he did crack Nemkov a couple times with those like ugly winging overhand rights that he likes to throw. But for the most part, Nemkov really got to him with the leg kicks, which we'll talk about a lot more later. But yeah, he did a really good job of just picking his shots wisely, throwing in combination when Phil Davis was just looking for like one-offs and power kicks and that really nice like hook punch he likes to throw while stepping back. But Nemkov did enough to take it on 2 of the judges' scorecards, and if they had given this fight to Davis, I wouldn't have been angry. Mostly just disappointed in Davis, but it was an okayish fight that has really big implications for light heavyweight. So shouts to Vadim Nemkov. At women's featherweight, it was a really important night for women's featherweight. Olga Rubin took a decision win over Cindy Dandois. Like, we laugh at Cindy Dandois because she is a comically bad striker, but she's found ways to win fights at 145 and above. She's a ridiculously good submission artist. And grappler. So, but it didn't matter here because Olga Rubin beat the crap out of her. Dropped her at the end of the second round, and I honestly thought Dandois was out, but she managed to battle through it. Yeah, she like Olga Rubin, like women's featherweight has this problem where like it has a bunch of fighters who don't look like they're actually fighters. And I don't mean like aesthetically. I mean like when they fight, like they kind of look like hobbyists. Olga Rubin looked like an athlete who like was actually like studied, and she came prepared for Cindy Dandois. So that was refreshing. And like I said, it was the biggest win in Israeli MMA history. And lastly, Adam Koresh knocked out Baby Fedor. He got slammed, got back up, and then proceeded to head kick Baby Fedor and then knock him out. So Fedor's guys went 1 for 1 on this card. Or 1-1 on this card.
Oh.
I mean, that's a big win if you're a heavyweight. And that was only his third fight. Like, I don't know if Koresh has like a background in anything else.
I feel like I feel like I remember Baby Fedor and I don't at the same time.
Kirill Sid. Oh God.
Yeah, I'm looking at his name. Sinolenikov.
Sinolenikov. He is a former world champion combat sambo guy. He fought at the Infliction card way back. Day of Reckoning. He fought Paul Bontello. He fought Sergey Pavlovich back at Fight Night 79. Trying to think where else. He fought on like the first 2 Rising cards, I think, or at least the very first Rising card, the one with Fedor on it. So like,
make what forgot Fedor fighting Rising. Was it Ishii? Is that Rising?
That first one, I believe it was the one where he fought. Let me make sure. Yeah, it was Jadeep Singh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was that one. So yeah. Yeah, no, like Baby Fedor was like a guy who, because of his association with Fedor and because he was a combat sambo guy, like people always were waiting for him to like break through, but like he kept being stopped by like doctors because he just cuts like a bitch, which is really like he didn't get like knocked out until he fought Pavlovich in 2017, but that was like a decade after he stopped fighting. Or at least trying to be like a real MMA fighter.
He's just on a streak of a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, basically.
Hey man, that's
I mean, that's yeah. You got to have all the intangibles. and he just doesn't have the skin for it, like literally.
Well, that's MMA, man. It's cruel.
Like
Cruel and
this dude's still
unforgiving.
30. Like in theory, like if he could get his game together, he could be somebody. But heavyweight is not built for guys who cut open either, because you're gonna get hit.
Yeah. And dude's hit really hard.
That too.
Yeah. But that was Bellator 209. Moving on to other MMA happenings. One Championship had a card bright and early Saturday morning. One Championship 84. I don't know if they named this one. Probably has something to do with a heart and a tiger. Or a warrior. Oh, Warrior's Dream. That's what it was called. I knew it. One of those three was in there. But I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of this card because I was at work and actually had a lot. Work was a little busier than normal on Saturday, so I couldn't pay attention to this card as much as I wanted to. But the two fights that I was mainly interested in, I will mention the main event, which honestly I didn't really care about, but I only watched it because it was a title fight. Now that Ben Askren is in one championship, of course his title was vacated. So to fight for his vacated welterweight title was Sebastian Katastam and Tyler McGuire. Like I said, I was like half watching this fight. So I can't remember specifics other than Sebastian KO'd him very late into the 5th round. Not at the last second, but there was only like 20 seconds left. And he got a KO over McGuire, so now he is the new welterweight champion. And the other fight, really the one fight that I really cared to see, Nikki Holskin, former Glory welterweight champion, made his way over to one championship for his debut over there in the kickboxing match. He fought Cosmo Alexandre, and he put a clinic. He beat the bricks off of Cosmo and capped off his performance with an uppercut that just sent Cosmo into the next lifetime. It was a really good performance, capped off with a very violent uppercut. Dope to see Nikki back in the win column. If I remember correctly, like his last couple Glory fights, because he fought Doumbé, that didn't go his way. I feel like his last couple of fights he's lost. I could be wrong, but I feel like he's been like a little bit of a skid lately. So it was just cool to see him back in the win column and in such an emphatic way.
Well, he was boxing, right?
Oh yeah, he did box. I forgot about that. Yeah, he fought the tall guy whose name I don't remember.
Was it Smith? Was it?
It was a really simple name. I cannot remember. But yeah, I know what you're talking about because I watched that fight.
Yeah, it was part of the World Boxing Super Series. Yeah, he fought Kalen Smith, who won the middleweight, super middleweight tournament.
So Niki's been, fighting hasn't been kind to him lately. So it was just good to see him back in the win column in such an emphatic way. But that's pretty much all I saw from that card, so I can't really comment on anything else. And the last fight card or fights that we'll get to before we get to UFC Argentina, over in Rise, what card was it? Rise 129 was this? Rise something. I want to say it was 129. Could be lying. But anywho, kickboxing fights, a lot of awesome fights. Really only saw 2 of them. Tenshin Nasukawa headlined. What is the gentleman he fought? I think his name was Naito.
Yes.
I want to say. He put a clinic on Naito. It was very quick. It was brutal. It was violent. If you've seen any Tenshin fights, it was that. He made very quick work of Naito. He got him out of there. I want to say within a round. Just the dude's phenomenal, man. The dude is incredibly talented. So he got Naito out of here real quick. And in the co-main event, I believe on that card, was Rodtang, the gentleman who Tension fought earlier this year, and what I have in probably not fight of the year, but it would definitely be like a runner-up. Rodtang fought the guy's name was Yuki. Very entertaining fight. Rodtang is a madman. He gets hit and he punches himself, and he's a showman. he is a showman. And that fight was just really violent, really fun. Rodtang ended up winning that fight. Go check that out, man. Rodtang is a beast, man. That dude is an animal. And actually, quick side note, I think Tension's sister was on this card. I don't know if she won her fight, but she caught somebody with a spinning back kick, and she's only like 16. Her name is Riri Nasukawa. Yeah, I didn't look to see if she won her fight, but she definitely caught somebody with a spinning back kick, straight to the face. So
Let's
go
see.
go watch some kickboxing, man. I think the event was Rise 129. Like I said, go watch Tension, man. Go watch Rodtang. If you follow us on Facebook, on the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page, I posted the fights in the group so you can watch them. For you guys who don't watch kickboxing, man, these are two dudes you should definitely watch and keep an eye on, man. They're always entertaining, always have good fights, and I'm hoping that these two meet each other again in the future, because the first fight was bananas, and I'm sure the second one, if they do it, will be just as crazy. So yeah, that was Rise 129, and yeah,
Riri lost.
Oh, boo. Still caught somebody with a spinning back kick. At 16, that's gotta feel pretty good. But yeah, there were other combat sports. I think Cage Warriors had a card. They had like their 99th card. LFA had a card, but I'll save that for my parting shots and shout outs. There was a lot of fights going on this weekend.
Invicta had a card.
Oh yeah, real quick. Felicia Spencer, I forgot, because I actually did watch that. Well, like I half watched it, and she grappled her to death. From what I remember.
So like she basically like kept throwing herself at Pam Sorensen after the first round, and it looked like in the second round she had completely gassed out, which was hilarious to me. But she kept going and got the submission in the fourth. So shouts to her. The last two women to win that belt are Megan Anderson and Chris Cyborg. So good company.
Yeah. And from what I remember, that was a pretty one-sided. I think. I don't know. I did half watch it. So
Sorensen did her thing on the feet. Like she was more than competitive. But like it was basically Felicia Spencer cage wrestling Pam Sorensen until like they were forced to break it up.
I think she won by, was it rear neck choke?
Yes.
Yep. And also on that card, because I did logged on Fight Pass, Mizuki Inoue was on the card. I think she was she co-main?
Co-main.
Yeah, she fought Vivian Pereira. She looked really good. Lots of bobbing and weaving going on. She looked really solid. She had a nice little run going until she ran into Jandiroba. But no shame in that loss.
That was also her coming back off an ACL injury.
Yeah, and that's a tough. Coming back from ACL is hard enough. Coming back and fighting Jandiroba is like.
Yeah, after almost 2 years out, like.
Yeah, that's you can't even really be mad at that. But no, yeah, Mizuki looked awesome. Glad to see her back in the win column. Always rooting for her. Definitely a big fan of her. So. Where's her brother at? Where's he been?
What? Did he just fight? Get pulled from that fight. He was fighting at Flatweight. I'm assuming he's out of a job now. Yeah, he just lost. He fought Matt Schnell at UFC Fight 32.
Yeah.
I say just, but that was like June.
Yeah.
But he's probably out of a job, so. Because he was a 115 pounder who moved up to 125 to be in the UFC.
I'll leave it alone. That'll be a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. Well, he's in the U.S. training with his sister, so.
No, hopefully he'll land somewhere. He definitely had some talent. But yeah, those are all the other fights, other organizations that went down. So definitely go give those a look, man. There's always never a shortage of violence to watch. But
just real quick before we move off Invicta, if you guys didn't see it, go watch the Julia Avila Alexa Connors fight. It was pretty one-sided, but Avila looked amazing. She's the woman who beat Marion Renault and Nico Montano before they both got to the UFC. She lost her first Invicta fight because she got kicked in the hand and it dislocated or broke one of her fingers, and the referee, I think she motioned that she was trying to fix it, and the referee called the fight. So sucks. Sucks that was her first and only loss, but she's definitely like UFC quality women's bantamweight. So, and she called out Sarah Kaufman, so that might be next.
There you go. That division needs any excitement that it can get. But yeah, moving on. UFC fight night, I think it was 140. Went down in Argentina, headlined by Santiago Ponzinibbio and Neil Magny. Yeah, we'll just jump right into it. Poor Neil Magny had nothing for this fight. If I'm being honest, man, like.
I mean, wasn't that the point though?
Like, you kind of knew off jump from within like 30 seconds where this fight was going. Like,
it just took a while to get there.
Yeah, it just took a little bit to get there. Like, I didn't think it was gonna go 4 rounds. I thought the finish would have came quicker, but it happened. But I mean, straight out the gate, Ponzi puts the pressure on him. Magny spends pretty much the entire fight fighting backward against the cage, trying to circle around, not being able to get any offense off. Meanwhile, he's getting hit, getting jabbed, getting caught with right hands, getting his leg kicked until he just can barely stand anymore. This just repeats for 4 rounds. Like, I remember after the end of the first, after Magny, clearly lost that round, he goes back to his corner, and they're like, hey, man, you got to be first. You got to initiate, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Second round comes. He initiates for about 10, 15 seconds, and then it goes back to regular. It goes back to him backing up, getting leg kicked, getting just hit with everything, and him just kind of circling out. And he just really didn't have any answer. And it was just like, he couldn't threaten Ponzinibbio with anything that would make Ponzinibbio hesitant. Like, yeah, he'll pump his jab out, he'll throw out a 1-2. It's not really damaging anything. He'll throw a leg kick out, not really damaging anything. He's not getting takedowns. Like, he just literally, he had no answer. There was nothing he could pull out in his repertoire to even make Ponzinibbio like back up or stop. Like, so he just got punished the entire fight, and his legs took the brunt of that punishment. I'm pretty sure this morning, if he's not on crutches, he's definitely limping around. He just got abused. Neil Magny got abused for 4 rounds, and then to make it worse, man, the final blow that put him down, I did not anticipate a face plant, and like he got cracked and face planted, and his head bounced off. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad, but the Ponzi scheme worked. He beat the bricks off of Neil Magny. This repeated for 4 rounds until Neil Magny eventually face planted, and Ponzi, he he did his thing.
Wow. No, I'm sorry. Just reacting to some SummerSlam news, or not some Survivor Series. Oh my god. Do you know Enzo Amore?
Name's familiar.
So he's actually He's a former WWE wrestler, really famous. Like, he was really popular when he was in WWE because he could talk a lot. Really, he was the short loudmouth who got beat up, and then he would go and tag his partner who was 7 feet tall, and to come clean up his mess.
He always be the guy like that.
He's actually my roommate. He was actually my brother's roommate's brother. In college, and he got kicked out the WWE because he got caught on like rape charges.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, it turned. I guess I don't remember the full story, but it turned out not to be true. So he showed up at Survivor Series tonight in the front row, and just got the whole crowd to cheer for him. And then the WWE had the security come and toss him out the arena.
Hey man, it's probably worth it.
I mean,
You know, you beat the case. You come back. You try to get your standing no, or you got a standing no. Just got tossed out for it.
yeah.
It's all worth it if the cameraman panned to you and they saw it.
No, they panned hard off him. I got the footage I saw was from some fan who took it, sitting right next to him.
They were hating.
Oh, dude, the WWE is great at that type of shit. Like, some guy tries to hop into the ring, so that, like, when he does, they'll hard cut to, like, the corner of the ring he's not in. But back to the Ponzinibbio fight. Dude, from the moment they booked the fight, like, we knew what, like, I feel like we all knew that, like, Magny was there to lose. Just like he has a history of having trouble with guys who are good distance fighters who can kick the shit out of his legs. Like going back to like the Larkin fight, and that's what Ponz did. He kicked the shit out of his legs and then repeatedly hit him in the face. There was some things he did that I did like when he did get kicked down. Like when he would get kicked and would go to the mat, he would threaten Ponzinibbio by coming forward and like kicking him in the chest and the sternum and stuff, forcing him back into like the center of the ring, the cage, and that would get him away from the cage where Ponz was doing the most damage. The problem is when he would stand up, he would immediately fall back into the cage because one, he was using it to stand up because his leg was obviously just gone, and two, like he's just an outfighter. He's relying on the other guy to close distance for him. I don't know. I really like this main event because just like the story of both guys, like Ponz did not come into the UFC like a really hot prospect. He came in as like, I think it was on like Tough Brazil, like not even Latin America. He was like a Tough Brazil contestant, and they just needed somebody to fight Ryan LaFleur, and he just never went away. And like Neil Magny is like an overachiever. Like I always feel bad saying that, but it's kind of just true because like we've seen him against guys who are like in their prime in the top 10, and then he goes in there and gets the crap beat out of him. Right. But like he'll beat like a Hector Lombard, who in like a world where Hector Lombard is a competent fighter, he finishes him in the first round, like he was on track to do before he gassed. Or, you know, he'll beat like a past at Carlos Condit, but like RDA, Lorenz Larkin, Damian Maia, and now Ponzinibbio just kind of ran right through him with like little coming back at him, and like the only top 10 dude he beat was Gastelum, and that's because Gastelum is hella short, and Gastelum just needs to close distance, and Magny was able to use that to his advantage to get those body lock takedowns. So, like from the minute they booked the fight, I'm like, okay, they better hope Magny doesn't fall off because that's like that's the top 10 guy. If I'm trying to get Ponzinibbio over in Argentina, that's the top 10 guy I book him against because it makes him look like a stud. I know, like a perfect performance from Ponz. What would you have thought if they had like stopped the fight after like the third round or something? Like if Magny's corner had just been like, yeah, no, you're not going back out there.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think you could have been mad. His leg at that point was just barely functional. Like he wasn't showing you anything that made you think, oh, he can turn this around.
Right.
Like literally, like all of the rounds were just repeats of what had already happened, and they just got worse. And there was it was just nothing. I saw nothing from Magny that made me say, oh, well, maybe if he keeps doing that, it'll work. It was just his most effective strike was an accidental headbutt that caused the cut on Ponzi's eye. And I'm not even trying to be mean, but literally that's like the most damaging thing he did the entire fight was an accidental headbutt. Yeah, this was just a one-sided, Ponzi just did everything you would want your fighter to do. He stuck to the game plan. He kept pushing forward, and Magny was just from the moment the fight started was just surviving. And I don't know what happened to his eye, because like Ponzi had jabbed him, and he was messing with his eye like the entire fight.
Yeah.
So I hope his eye is good, because like he was literally pawing at his eye the entire fight, like trying to wipe it off or whatever. But I hope his eye is good, because it was bothering him literally the entire night. But yeah, Ponzi he put the hands and feet. He gave Magny all he could handle.
Just watching Magny like faceplant because he just doesn't have like the strength in his leg just to like brace himself for the fall was really sad.
Yeah, he just fell over.
Right.
Like,
it wasn't even like a faceplant. It was just like a complete collapse.
Right. Yeah. That's a rough way to go out.
Yeah.
But shout outs to Ponzi, man. Main event.
When was the last time like a card that was built entirely around one fighter like debuting in their home country went this well for the UFC? Because they tried to do it in Sweden and
no, but that didn't.
Yeah.
That did not work. That did not work at all. Yeah, man. These Argentinian dudes showed out. They held it down, but not much else to discuss on the main event. It was a lopsided beating for 4 rounds, and up until the faceplant.
it was probably Whitaker Brunson. That's the only one I could think of. I just like
those Swedes.
Yeah.
Those Swedes are probably begging for a redo.
I mean,
That was.
they might have a champion by the end of the year if he stays healthy.
Ugh. It's a lot to bet on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm rooting for him.
I mean, we still have a month. There's every chance John Jones fucks up his life again.
Yeah, there's plenty of things he can crash into. John, I hope you come back, but listen, man.
Like, New Mexico is basically one giant desert, right?
Oh, man.
Like,
John will find something to run into.
Just run into a cactus. He's just like, it came out of nowhere.
Oh, John. Hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're staying out of trouble. But that was the main event. Shout out to Ponzinibbio, man. He held it down. Moving on, co-main event: Ricardo Lamas and Darren Elkins and his tattoo.
The damage, indeed.
Yeah, there was definitely damage dealt. Not the way Elkins wanted it to go, but it happened. I mean, Elkins, from what I remember, his first round was pretty solid. Like, he got some. I think the one thing I realized this fight, probably about a minute or two in, like, Darren Elkins did things okay in the first round. Like, I remember him getting some takedowns. His striking has improved, but it's still, it's
he's still like not an athlete.
Yeah. it's like it's competent, but it's not. You're not shaking in your boots at an overhand from Elkins.
Like, unless you are literally just standing right in front of Darren Elkins, like, you got something to worry about. Like, if you're Dennis Bermudez, who literally doesn't know anything but just run straight at your opponent, like, you have problems. But if you're Ricardo Lamas, who seems to understand just like, okay, not only can you move forward, you can also move backwards and to the side.
Right.
You should do pretty well on the feet with Elkins.
Yeah, and the thing with this fight, I realized a couple minutes in, even after like Elkins would get takedowns and have dominant positions, it was kind of like Lamas can do everything you can do.
Yeah.
And he's athletic, and he's stronger. He hits harder. His technique is better. At some point, this might not go well for you. And like I said, I remember Elkins having a pretty solid first round, but after that, man, it was all downhill from there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lamas clearly won exchanges on the feet, just better technique, hits harder, started getting the leg kicks going.
Like, it sounds mean to say, but like watching those exchanges in the second and like beginning of the third round on the feet, like it looked like Lamas fighting like not even an amateur, just like some dude who rolled up at the gym. Because like he was so much faster. Like he was in the pocket and out of the pocket, and Elkins would miss by like 3 feet. It was crazy.
He looked really comfortable.
Yeah.
Like he had no fear that like he knew nothing bad was gonna happen to him. He just needed to pick his shots, wait for his opportunities, and it would come. And man, in the second round, he started hitting Elkins with ground and pound. His face starts, there's blood going down to the damaged tattoo. He's bleeding all over the place.
You gotta stick with the brand, man.
Yeah.
You got the gimmick, you gotta roll with it.
And then in the third round, it just got worse. There was just more damage being dealt out, not in Elkins' favor. Man, and I wasn't even mad at the stoppage. Like he ate some ground and pound. He got elbowed a couple times, and it just you could look and say it was an early stoppage, but at the same time, like kind of like the Magny fight, you kind of look at Elkins and it's like up to this point, or in these last 2 rounds, like I don't really see anything from you that makes me think this fight is gonna go.
But my whole thing is like, okay, you have like what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. There's nothing that suggests you're going to stop getting your ass beat.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah. So we might as well just save you some time. You live to fight another day.
Right. Like, know the fighter who's in the cage. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Elkin has one or two knockouts in the UFC. And one was over like Antonio Carvalho, which was like a straight up like we're striking and I'm going to actually knock you out. And the other was then Mirsad Bektik just getting grapple happy, falling, and then Elkin kicking him as he stood up. Like Elkin's not out here like knocking dudes' heads off like he's Chad Mendes or something.
Yeah.
And just going back real quick, like Neil Magny, like you stopped the fight in the third round because like Neil Magny's not a one-punch guy, and he's only standing on one leg. So what can he really do? Like, so he only has one leg to actually throw from. Like, know your guy.
Yeah. But luckily, man, the ref got him out of there. Saved everybody. He doesn't take any more unnecessary damage. He lives to fight another day.
Yeah, this was like what Elkins loses nothing.
Yeah, he was shown mercy.
This was a fight where he was not supposed to win, and he did. So, which seems hell better.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is further punishment for him beating Bektik. This is
like they tried to punish him with Bermudez and Johnson, it didn't work. So they're like, "F it, we're going to bring in the heavy artillery now."
Yeah, don't be surprised. Next fight is Elkins and I don't know, Aldo Rodriguez.
Next.
Yeah, it's not gonna get any better.
Zabit.
Ooh.
I mean, they are 14 and 15.
Yeah, that could work.
I mean, it would be the hardest fight Zabit's had to date in terms of just like style matchup, like somebody who's just never gonna go away.
Boy, if Elkins somehow beats Zabit and one of those grind him out, oh my God.
mean,
The outrage.
That's how you get your heat back, brother.
That tattoo is gonna glow. That tattoo is gonna glow if he was to somehow beat Zabit. Oh man. But shout outs to Ricardo Lamas, man. Pretty flawless performance, man. He went in there. He handled business as he most often does.
Like, we forget Ricardo Lamas. Like, when he wants to, he's the most violent man at featherweight.
Yeah, he can be. It's there.
Like, what he did to Jason Knight, what he did to oh my God, who was it? To Dennis Bermudez, but before that, it wasn't Cub. Was it Matt Grice? Who am I thinking of?
No, Grice fought. Did he fight Grice? I thought Grice fought Bermuda.
Yeah, he did fight Grice, but I'm trying to. I think it was Coke, Eric Coke.
Oh, Eric Coke.
Where on Fox, where like he just like Coke is winning, and then like he reverses position or gets a sweep or something, gets on top, and then just proceeds to elbow the crap out of Coke until his head just explodes with blood.
Man.
Like, he just ruined his eye.
Like if you're a Jason Knight fan, you can thank Lamas for pretty much shutting his career down.
Yeah.
At this point, he's never been the same after that.
Yeah.
Just one fight can just. Ugh. Well, speaking of performances and putting stops, 205 gave us a nice little surprise. Johnny Walker makes his UFC debut against Khalil Roundtree.
So I actually looked it up, and his name actually is Johnny Walker.
Yeah, see, now I was weird about that too, because he was born. He's from Brazil, right?
Yes.
Allegedly, he's from Brazil.
He is from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. But he fights out of England. Which
That's where the Johnny Walker comes from.
yeah, I was gonna come on.
Yeah, because I was looking at the name and the accent. I was like, something's not adding up here. But anywho,
I mean, it worked the other way around. When they sent the British dude to friggin' Brazil, it worked. So, and I sent the Brazilian dude to England. You could be like the reverse Darren Till.
Well, Johnny Walker showed up. He came, he saw, and he killed. I knew Roundtree was in trouble when he hit Walker with a leg kick. Walker did that little fake ouch, that hurt, but he was just like mocking him. I was like, oh, this guy's with the smoke. He's crazy. You don't Roundtree, this is not gonna end well. You don't want this. And I mean, Walker spent a lot of the fight, wide stance, kind of just bouncing around, feinting, just kind of bouncing around, not doing a ton. But when he decided to strike, it was over. Like, I think he had caught Khalil with a head kick, caught him with a 1-2, backed him up, caught him with a nice short elbow.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure probably stunned Roundtree. They clinched. they walked. Walker walked him around the cage, but with a pretty nice clinch. He lands a second elbow that sounded like somebody shot a shotgun. Like, that was a really loud elbow, and Roundtree just dies after the elbow, and then eats ground and pound to add insult to injury. And that's it, man. Like, that elbow was just so. It was so clean and so simple, but just so violent at the same time. Because it's not like when Roundtree got hit with the elbow, like his head rocked back, or you just heard this really loud thud, and then Roundtree just collapsed.
Yeah.
and it was just over.
Something tells me Khalil Rountree never been in a double collar tie before, because like he's too big and too strong to be walked backwards the way Johnny Walker walked backwards. Because he hit him with the first elbow, and then they proceed to like walk like 12 feet backwards into the cage, where he proceeds to hit him with another elbow, and then he collapsed. So like a little, I blame in this one a little bit more, not more, like a little bit on Khalil Rountree being really, really green. But just like a hella impressive performance from Johnny Walker. Like I don't know what his background is, like if he's a Muay Thai guy or if he's like a karate guy. It's kind of really hard to look him up because his name is Johnny Walker.
He doesn't even have a Wikipedia link. Like, you know how everybody has the blue hyperlink?
Yeah.
He doesn't have that. It's just a name.
I'm looking at his UFC page and it says nothing about who he is. But he's been on my list for like guys to sign for 205 because this division is dead. It's so dead, in fact, that when you go to the Johnny Walker page, it has like the little arrows underneath, so you can go to the next fighters, and both of them are John Jones. So they're like, we're not advertising anybody else. But he's 26. He's 6'5". He's got an 81-inch reach. Like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, no, like, I'm happy they gave him $50,000 to go like spend on like getting his life all together so he can focus on training, because they need this dude to be for real. And from the look of it, he could be. Like he's got some losses here and there. Like he lost to Wagner Prado, but that was back when he had like 4 fights. He lost to Clinton Farias, who's another dude who I think the UFC is a look at signing, unless they already signed him. Like I can't keep up with who they signed and who they haven't. And he lost to Enrique Silva, or who himself was undefeated until he lost Jungle Fight title. So like I'm excited about the prospects of having like somebody like Walker at 205, because he's what they need. He's young, he's flashy, he seems to enjoy fighting, like he's fun. So good signing, Sean Shelby. Just do more of it. Do more of it.
Keep doing that. Keep guys like him are like the only.
I got a whole list for you, bro. Just give me a call.
Tag him on Twitter.
Like I got a whole 30-something person list of like light heavyweights I want the UFC to sign. It's a Google Sheets. It's really easy to send. Just hit me up, Shelby.
we got you. Cut that check though.
I gotta take Johnny Walker off it now though, because he's right there.
he made it. But nah, man. Shout out to Johnny Walker, man. Yeah, man. Anybody in 205 who can make some noise, I'm all for it. So props to Johnny Walker. Keep doing what you're doing. Moving on, continuing with the theme of making debuts, Ian Heinisch. That's how you say it. Made his UFC debut against Cesar Ferreira. I want to say Ian, was he from Contender Series? He was from one of those Dana shows.
Yes, he was from the Contender Series. He was also. So I saw a picture from on Topology when I was looking up this card, and I was like, oh, he looks like he was a wrestler in college. I wonder where he wrestled. So I googled his name, and the very first thing that comes up is a story about him smuggling drugs in like Spain and going to jail. And being a drug smuggler.
Yeah, they mentioned on the broadcast. He had a rough. He was in them streets. Ian was out here.
The streets of Madrid.
Yeah, he was out here, man. He was moving weight cross country. But apparently he's cleansed himself of that now. He changed his life around, for the better. I think they mentioned like he's been sober for a year.
That's it.
Ho. Hey,
hey,
man,
I'm not trying to take anything away, but like,
hey man, everybody gotta start somewhere.
I'm like, okay, maybe don't start handing this dude potential like $50,000 performance at the Night Checks.
I was about to make a John Jones joke. There was one in there
I
somewhere.
mean, not everybody can be a high functioning addict.
Oh no, but I hope you're doing good, Ian. But nah, man. He put on a solid performance. He's not like the most technical guy. Just one of those really. He kind of fits the mold of a kind of a middleweight. Like he's just really tough. He's really gritty. He does look really like stupid strong. Not like the most technical guy, but he just kind of stays in your face. He can grind you out and just kind of beat you up. And Cesar looked gassed by the end of this fight. Boy, he was going through it. I think he did drop Cesar in the second round. He was catching Cesar with some shots. Like I said, it wasn't like the prettiest performance, but he was in Cesar's face. He landed some good shots. I think he dropped him once or twice. He had him in trouble a couple times, and he just kind of kept pushing and slugging forward, and Cesar just kept fading, and yeah, I don't know. He couldn't keep up. Ian just kind of took him to the waters and drowned him.
Yeah. He throws that right hand really fluid for a dude who didn't pick up MMA until like I don't even know how old he would have been after he got out of jail. Like normally when you see that punch, like guys are really robotic with it, and like the rest of his like striking was really kind of stiff, but like he was throwing that shift right hook every time. For Cesar was moving to his right, so he was moving away from the punch, so he would just shift into it with the right hand with the hook and bring his leaf leg forward with it. And every time he hit Ferreira with it, you could see it hurt Ferreira a lot. Like it's I think it's the punch he dropped him with like once or twice. It's the one he dropped him with at the end of the second round. It was really smooth, though. Like I was surprised to see it from somebody who started their career hella late. Yeah, no, like if you beat Ferreira in your first UFC fight, you deserve a little bit of the microscope or the magnifying glass, because he's not an easy opponent. Like he's lost to like Masvidal and Sam Alvey and CB Dalloway and Elias Theodorou, but he's a tough dude. And to go out there and beat him in your first fight ever is pretty interesting. It makes you interesting.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah, he's only been fighting for like 4 or 5 years. Damn.
I was gonna say can I call him a tough dad? Does he fit? I don't know if he fits a tough dad.
Well, he's 30.
I mean, all right, he's the young
prison dad.
Let the man live.
I mean, he wrote a whole Players Tribune article about going to.
He was in Rikers.
Yeah, he was in Rikers. God. Yeah, he served his sentence in Spain and then got arrested on re-entry into the U.S.
Jesus.
Yeah, not fun.
Not fun. He's really been out here. But shout out to Ian, man. Impressive debut. Just went out there and just grinded out a win, like you said, over somebody who's been in the UFC for a while, and he went in there and did his thing. So shout out to Ian. Impressive debut. This next fight. Oh boy. Marlon Chito Vera and Guido Canetti. This fight was the tale of 2 rounds. I don't know what Marlon Vera was doing in this first round, but he was sleepwalking. It was not looking too well,
like,
man.
Like he was saying, like, hey, Guido Canetti is like a 40-something-year-old man. I'm gonna beat his ass and send him to retirement.
Boy, Guido.
And then Guido came out and was just like, how old do you think?
Guido came out and put them paws. Man, Vera, I don't know what was going on in Vera's first round, but there was like no urgency. Guido was all over him. He caught him. He backed him up with a left that stung him. Backed him up to the.
You see what it is? His daughter got the surgery. He doesn't need to fight anymore.
Oh no, Chito, man. Chito, you gotta. I was nervous because I was like, Tito, man, if he was fighting someone who was a few levels above him, like somebody with a name, bro, he would have got starched in that first, and he might have been out of there.
John Linder
Man.
couldn't even freaking hurt.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Guido Canetti dropped him.
Yeah, like Guido caught him with that left. He backed him up. He slammed him. It was not going well. I think Tito ended up getting back up. He got stung again. Guido caught him with another flurry. Vera was flying all over the place. It wasn't looking good, man. He was really getting it taken to him. I think outside of a few grappling exchanges, he didn't really do much at all that first round, but just get hands put on him. Goes back to the corner. Corner tells him, "Hey man, you gotta wake up." like, hey man, you gotta, you realize you're fighting, right? Like, you gotta fight back. You gotta do something. But hey man, props to the corner, man. Whatever they told him, it worked. They knew how to get through to their fighter. Because in that second round, he looked like a completely different person. So I don't know, maybe he just needed to eat a few left hands before he woke up. But boy, when he woke up, it was over. He came out that second round, guns blazing, ready to go. he throws I don't remember if the flying knee landed, but he threw a flying knee to close distance. It got him really close. And like he transitions from a flying knee to a kind of like a plum, gets like a top plum, needs the life out of Guido, drops him, gets him down on the ground. Actually, he needed him a couple times. Beat him up on the ground. Yeah, like Guido just never really recovered. Like Cheeto swarmed him that second round, just knees, ground and pound. Eventually took his back and just choked him out. And like, if I'm Guido, I'm hurt because that first round went so well, and then it was like that second round, Cheeto just hit a switch, and he's like, all right, I'm not playing anymore, and it was over.
Yeah.
Like, it was over. It was like that first round was like you're playing a video game and the person's like not pressing any buttons, and then you thought you were gonna do that the second round, and then he starts unleashing combos and you don't know what to do. And by the time you figure out what to do, you've been kneed and choked out, so it's too late. But yeah, Cheeto got off to a slow start, but he ended in emphatic fashion. So shout out to Cheeto, man. That knee that dropped Guido was violent, and he ends up just choking him out.
Yeah. Like the two older guys that they brought up, like they're both on the Tough Show, right? Like, or am I just imagining things? Like the Tough Latin America show. Henry Briones and him. They are tough outs. Like Briones is the dude who went 3 rounds with like Cody Garbrandt. And Canetti's out here putting guys down, even hitting him clean. So, yeah, it's a shame he's so old. He's about to be 39 next month. Weight division doing things like this. Like he just got a win last May. Yeah, I really don't have like a lot to add. I really like that uppercut that Marlon Vera landed. That started the whole like sequence of Canetti basically getting his ass beat.
I forgot about that. He caught him with that a couple times.
Yeah, really smooth looking uppercut that Canetti, who was back into the fence, really just couldn't get away from. Really good win for Vera. It was a good year for him, man. Like his daughter got the surgery that he's been like fighting his whole UFC career to be able to afford. He's now riding a 2-fight winning streak. I'm assuming I was gonna say he's gonna fight before the end of the year, but it's the middle of November, so yeah, I'm assuming we won't have to wait too long to see him again because he likes to fight often. So I don't know. Like Marlon Vera is weird. He's 25. Like he like it feels like we haven't seen what he can do yet in terms of just like his ceiling. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad. Like I'm not sure how high his ceiling is, but I just know we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he can be consistent enough to go on like one of those. Can we squeeze a run out of him? Like, can he reel off like 4 or 5 straight against like competition that increasingly gets better and better every time?
Yeah. He's 6
Because,
and
like,
4 in the UFC.
He, because he is really talented, but like just moments like that first round kind of scare me. Because like I said, if he has that first round against somebody in like the top 10, you're out of here.
Right.
Like they're getting you out of here really quick. So I feel like if he can just improve on that, you know, just be a little more consistent, he might have a run at him. We might be able to see maybe not I don't know. He'll be able to put his name in the conversation, I would hope.
I'd like to think they could be a top 10, top 15 dude.
Yeah. I think he can make it there. And then, you know, anything past like top 15, top 10, pretty much is icing on the cake. But good performance from him though. He's definitely really talented, and well, if anything, he can come back from adversity. That's something. So hopefully this doesn't keep putting themselves in those positions. But anyway, knees, uppercuts, choke out. He gets it done. So shout out to Tito. And rounding out the main card, another really interesting fight. Cynthia Calvillo and Poliana Botello. So if you didn't see the weigh-ins, was not looking good for Calvillo. I think she came in 3 pounds overweight.
If we're being honest, like 2 because you can make 116. But yeah, she was at 118.
Yeah. Didn't look good at the weigh-ins. It was kind of funny just seeing like reactions on Twitter. Like after the weigh-ins, like she was getting bashed on Twitter. And I was seeing like, oh man, she's gonna be terrible tomorrow, and Botello was gonna put those hands on her, so on and so forth. And then the fight happens, and she looked great. Well, maybe not great, but considering what she looked like at the weigh-ins, I would say this fight went very well. Like she came in, didn't look gassed or tired, or it looked like the weight cut or whatever happened with that was a non-issue.
Yeah.
Like
she came,
she came in and just looked. It was another day at the office. Like she didn't get any hands put on her really. Like they traded on the feet, but neither one of them really landed anything like too crazy. She did catch Botello with a nice left that I think Botello kind of felt it. Caught her with a nice one. But as soon as Calvillo got her to the ground, I think Botello had tried a leg kick, and Calvillo caught it and got her to the ground. Once it got to the ground, like it was over. She was pretty much just able to control her, beat her up a little bit. I really enjoyed the finishing sequence. She's landing ground and pound. She's catching Botello with some shots, and Botello tries to roll and turn over so her face isn't in the line of fire for her to just get blasted. And then just like that quick moment where she tries to turn over, there's just this little bit of space right there, and Calvillo's like, oh, there's a neck, gonna grab that. And she just grabs, it was the way she grabbed it. I guess it was like the angle. It was almost like the way you put like your little brother in a headlock, but it was like
choke.
Yeah, like it was one of those give me your lunch money chokes. Like, and she sunk that in with the quickness, and she got Botello out of there. And it sucks too, because it was only like, that round was almost over. It's only like 10 seconds left. And yeah, she yanked that neck up, and she got Botello out of there. And she didn't take a lot of damage. Didn't really get any hands put on her, and once she got her to the ground, it was all Calvillo. So whatever weight cut issues or any of those issues she might have had didn't carry on Saturday night. she went in there and dominated, and probably proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah. Like Calvillo, but she was the smaller woman in there too. Like Botelho looked a little bigger than her anyway. Like I could be wrong. Like just it could have been like just standing and stuff like that.
No, they even mentioned it during the broadcast. Like Botelho looked way thicker.
Yeah, like she's 5'8", and Sadika feels like 5'4", so yeah. I don't think size played too big a part in this fight. Yeah, no, Calvillo's really good. Like, I can't remember like the last time we talked about her, but like me and Joey wrote something along, like about like what her chances are of bouncing back off her first loss. I'm like, yeah, she had been fighting professionally for about like 18 months when she fought Carla Esparza and lost to her basically 2 rounds to 1. So like she's fine. Like she's really good. And like she's still only 2 years into her pro career. Like 3 years, I guess. Like she missed a whole year or 6 months out of the year. Or no, like yeah, basically a whole year. So she started fighting in 2016, like professionally. Like she's gonna be really good for a while, unless like because she's 31 now, so there's always the chance that her her athleticism just drops. But until then, she's just gonna keep getting better. I don't have a lot to say about this fight in particular, but if Calvillo really is struggling to make 115 and she just for whatever reason can't make it anymore, which I'm not sure of. I didn't see the video of the weigh-in, but like apparently she was like really like she fell off the scale, or yeah, she looked like shaky on her legs or something, because they had to put the current up so that she could try and re-weigh in again. Yeah, so I haven't seen the video, so I don't know what she looked like. Just that people are saying she looked bad. Like she has wins over women in the UFC right now who fight at flyweight, who have wins in the UFC. Like she beat Jillian Robertson. She has a win over Montana De La Rosa. As an amateur, she beat Aspen Ladd, who's probably going to go up to like featherweight soon. Like she's gonna be fine at flyweight, so or flyweight or strawweight or whatever weight she chooses to fight at, as long as she makes the weight. I don't know. She hasn't fought in 11 months. That could f up your, if you're used to fighting every few months, that could f up your whole routine of cutting weight. So I'm not gonna hold it against her too much. I mean,
yeah, I think she has enough talent as to where I'm not. I mean, it's still you would hope it's not a repeated issue, but
first time she's ever.
I think it's just kind of one of,
as far as I know.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of one of those things. Like as long as this doesn't happen again, you'll be fine. Your talent is good enough that it'll be able to carry you as long as you don't keep having these little mishaps. But no, yeah, she went in there and she dominated. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So shout outs to Calvillo. That rounded out the main card. A lot of finishes on the main card. It actually was really quick rewatching this fight. The only fight on the main card that went the distance was the Ian and Cesar fight. So that was the main card portion. Moving on down to the preliminary Fox Sports 1 fights. A couple of these ended kind of quick too. Michelle Prazeres and Bartosz Fabinski. Michelle Prazeres is the welterweight light heavyweight who used to be a lightweight. He's trying to go back to lightweight.
why?
I don't know.
He's 5'5" or whatever, or 5'6" or whatever, but like he's beaten 2 pretty solid welterweights in his short stint so far.
Yeah, and it's clearly that the power hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah,
Like he is a tank of a person. Like I said, he is kind of short, but dude, if he catches you, it's over. I don't know why Fabianski thought he would win an exchange with him.
I think he just thought he was bigger.
Yeah.
Like he's big. Like I'm bigger than him, younger than him. Rosaris,
Yeah, I don't know. He tried to get into a firefight with Pizarras, and he ate a nasty left hand for his troubles. I thought he was out with the left. I didn't even think he was gonna make it, but he survived the left hand. Got beat up a little bit more. Ended up in a guillotine choke. And I mean, if you look at the size of Pizarras' arms, like if that dude gets you in the guillotine, man, you're out of here. Yeah, he got that. He snatched that guillotine choke up, and he got Fabianski out of here, all within a minute. So Pizarras at welterweight, the power came up with him. I say just keep fighting at welterweight till you can't anymore. Because like I said, the power's still there, and you can still hit viciously hard. And I'd imagine not a lot of people can take a flush shot.
They're gonna keep throwing really slow welterweights at you. Just keep taking it.
Right. Take the paycheck. Yeah. They're giving you free money.
Like he's 10-2 in the UFC. He's on an 8-fight winning streak.
That's wild. And I think I saw somebody have posted that on Twitter. Like, how has he not gotten any steps up, like in competition?
It doesn't help when you miss weight 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
But like this goes like him and Pizarro, like him and Trinaldo, like they were both like, yeah, we're on like 7-8-fight win streaks, and the UFC just keeps giving us guys who aren't in the top 10 or who aren't going to advance their career. Like Pizarro, if you keep winning fights like this and you keep like having like they'll probably give you a big fight at welterweight because let's be honest, like nobody wants to see the top of the welterweight division fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the perfect time to go on a run at 170. I mean, you get a couple of standout performances, you'll stand out amongst this crowd where there isn't a ton really, outside of the top guys. There's not really a ton going on. So
like it's the reverse. Outside of the top guys, like the division's fun and energetic and it has a youth to it. But at the top of it, it's just like. Does anybody really want to see Colby Covington fight Tyron Woodley? Like just pure sport reasons? Does anybody want to see Does anybody want to see Kamaru Usman 40% his way to a victory over I don't know, like friggin' who's he fighting? Crap. I feel bad now.
Oh, he's fighting RDA, right?
He's fighting RDA?
I think so.
Like, does anybody really want to see Usman like just kind of lay on top of RDA for 3 rounds, 5 rounds, however long it is? Like, if you're gonna run like and you want it to count for something, try welterweight because Tony Ferguson's been on a run for how many years and he still hasn't gotten a title shot.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, I was gonna say, lightweight is it's such a, it's so sad for all the talent that's down there. It's such a conundrum with the way title shots and things are handled. So, I mean, and if we're being honest, just the welterweight path is probably easier.
Yeah, especially if they're gonna keep tossing like slow, squatting grapplers at you. Just handle your business.
And I mean, if you're making it to the top of welterweight, a lot of those guys are getting older, so if you can get up there, you might crack a chin or two.
Like you can't tell me he wouldn't stand a good chance against Dong Hyun Kim. It's just based on the fact that he's active.
Right. He just throws. Yeah, he catches anybody on the chin, man. Them little bulky arms catch you. You're getting out of here. You're going to sleep. But man, shout outs to Pizarras, man. He up at welterweight, still putting people to sleep. Albeit hands or choke out, but he's handling business.
Dude,
this next
fighting
fight
for 18 years. His first fight was in 2000.
I wonder how he looked back then. Like, was he still like
Did he still look? Did he still look like an old man face on like a young man body?
He's like an alternate reality version of Trinaldo.
I mean, they're the same
Like-
person.
He's just a little bulkier. Probably hits a little harder.
How did they never fought? That's messed up.
I don't know if the time continuum can handle it.
That's too much.
Isn't it?
Lightweight Brazilian beefcake.
Isn't there some rule about like sending yourself back in time to, it messes it messes up the time continuum. They can't be in like the same arena at the same time. Oh man, we'll see though. But shout outs to Brazeras. This next fight was kind of bittersweet. Like I wanted to be really happy about this fight, and then I was happy up until it ended, and then I realized, oh, this division's probably not gonna be.
This fight was for naught.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I'm going back to Pantoja's record. I don't think he ever fought at bantamweight.
At 35. Yeah. For what it's worth, flyweight matchup. Alexandre Pantoja and Yuko Sasaki. Sasaki initiated the ground game. Was going for ground and pound. And it ended up not working. He I think he was landing like some standing ground and pound. Pantoja like grabbed one of his legs. They had like a little mini scramble, and Pantoja ended up on Sasaki's back.
Super smooth.
Yeah, it was really. It's hard for me to describe what happened, but if you watch it, you'll understand it was really slick the way he pulled it off. And as soon as he got Sasaki's back, choked him out, fight's over. Pantoja puts on like a really great performance, and like I was happy because it's like, yeah, Pantoja's like, he's another guy who's been on the rise, man. He's been putting on really good performances lately, really interested to see like how far he can take this. And then reality slapped me in the face, and it's like, oh yeah, his division's probably not going to be here next year. So I don't know like what we're going to see from him. Like, is he going to get a chance at 35, or is he going to be one of those guys who just kind of tossed out to the,
Yeah.
He just ends up floating around somewhere.
Well, yeah, I hope they offer him a fight. Like, I don't know how well he does in the division, but I hope he gets a chance at least, if he wants it anyway.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah, but like that transition to the back, it was a knee bar while Uka was standing. He triangled the leg, proceeded to take the leg, throw it over his head, and then swing around to grab his waist so he can climb up his back. So, just super smooth.
This poor division.
Yeah.
But, for what it's worth, he did. It was a really, really good performance, man. Really, like I said, really slick back take.
Dude, get rid of all these guys so that Bartosz Fabiński can have more Fox Sports 1 time. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we gotta make room for all the tough dads and the 205ers. And the heavy.
Where's Gareth McCullough going to fight? Damn it! Emil Meek needs to be on television.
Oh God. But that was that fight. Like I said, just bittersweet performance. Really good performance, but it just begs the question, like, did this really mean anything? I mean, he got paid for it, so it meant something, but, yeah. But shout out to Pantoja, man. Really good fighter. Just been out there just really handling business as of late. And hopefully he'll get a shot to stick around at 35. Moving on to a fight that I did not rewatch, that I cannot really offer any insight on. Austin Arnett defeated Humberto Bandenet via decision.
Yep.
I guess you ain't got anything either.
I'm upset because the Peruvian lost.
Nah.
Ben and I beat Arnett's ass in the first round. I bloodied him up. Like I think dropped him at the end of the first, if I remember right. I'm sorry, I watched this fight at like 4 a.m. in like a confused stupor after waking up. And then he completely just gassed out, and Arnett took over the fight. And I think two judges gave Arnett the last round like 10-8 because he was just on top of Bandanai, and Bandanai was just kind of sitting there, just not doing anything. Or everything he was trying was like just like low percentage and ineffectual. So it's basically the same thing as doing nothing. So Austin Arnett guts out a win.
There you go. Now I have nothing else to add to that because I didn't see
If you're gonna be a kicker, don't be a kicker who moves backwards. That's just how you tire yourself out.
Well.
Move sideways or forward, but not back.
If he has a next time, we'll see if he learns. But moving on to a fight that was really exciting. Actually, I think this got fight of the night, or at least according to Wikipedia.
It did, which is really confusing because I saw that beforehand, and then I watched the fight, and I'm like, damn. That like it wasn't that was a bad fight by any stretch of the imagination. It was more of a, wow, that wasn't really competitive at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hector Aldana should thank he should thank Starpoli that he got part of this award.
Like Starpoli had that hematoma on his head.
Oh man, yeah, he had there was a mini alien growing from the side of his face.
But if you had told me that was the only offense he got off in the entire fight, I'd believe you.
So Laureano Starpoli fought Hector Aldana. I knew this fight was going to be interesting because when it first started, they went to touch gloves, and Hector Aldana threw a leg kick. He tried to catch Starpoli with the okie doke. Well, he landed the leg kick, so I guess you could say he caught him with the okie doke. It was pretty much on from there.
If you're going to go touch gloves, and you're going to go for the cheap shot, quote unquote, why would you go for the cheap shot that doesn't like instantly knock out the other guy?
Right. There are no one kick KOs that go to the leg.
Yeah, like that's a trade-off.
Yeah, that's not a thing. Yeah, that's probably why he lost. You didn't game plan your cheating code good. you cheated wrong.
That's the complete opposite of veteran savvy.
Right. But after that kick, man, they immediately started throwing hands. It was a pretty they had a couple of violent back and forth spurts. As the anti-code mentioned, Starpoli had a nasty hematoma on the side of his head. Just like I said, it was a small alien growing in there. Aldana's face got bloodied up really bad. But yeah, after they had a couple of initial like violent flurries, but after those flurries kind of simmered and the fight kind of settled in, it was kind of clear what was going on.
Starpoli knows how to box, and Hector Aldana knows how to take a punch.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Aldana seemed he never like initiated anything. He was always just waiting for Starpoli to throw so he could counter, but he didn't really he never took the fight to Starpoli. He was just kind of waiting around for a moment that just kind of never happened. And meanwhile, Starpoli he's getting off. He's doing whatever he wants. He's just out here. Now it was a fun fight though. Starpoli put on a pretty. I think this was his debut. I want to say. He put on a pretty good performance in front of his the crowd went crazy for him.
Yeah,
you would have thought you would have thought he was like the headliner. They were going nuts for this guy. Like you said, it wasn't really outside of a couple of violent spurts that went Starpoli's way. Once the fight settled in, it wasn't really that competitive. It was more Starpoli is landing, he's boxing, he's getting in, getting out. Aldana is waiting for a counter that's never going to happen. He's just kind of getting beat up.
I really like Starpoli.
Yeah, I was trying to, in the middle of the fight, I was like, where could I see him going? I feel like and obviously it's too early to judge. Like, it's literally his first UFC fight, so who knows where he could end up. But based on what I've seen from his game, he seems to me like the kind of guy, he'll be like a fringe top 15. He'll be like that middle of the pack, those guys who are stuck in that middle, who are trying to like string together a couple of good performances so they can make it upward. And he'll give you violent fights night in and night out. Then you just hope it'll be consistent enough that, maybe he'll push further into the rankings. But no, he did put on a really good performance though. It was a really fun fight. And like I said, this fight got fight of the night because of him. He carried this because it wasn't as back and forth as one would think the fight of the night
Right.
would
be. Like, not to be all like, I don't know, nativist, countryist or whatever. He reminds me of Santiago Ponzinibbio. Like that's what his game reminds me of. Just like, and like he's coming in young. He got a good first fight in the UFC that gave him 3 good rounds to feel its way around the octagon. I hope to see like more of him. Like he looked really solid, just like a solid all around kickboxer. Nothing extravagant or anything, but like if you come in and you have a solid fundamental game, at least as a kickboxer, like I have an interest in seeing you do well. And I think this is his first fight that ever went to decision. So yeah, it's just important to get rounds.
Yeah, keep on getting more experience, and pretty sure at welterweight, yeah, he'll be able to find some guys that'll test him, but fights that'll still be winnable for him, and we'll just kind of have to see how he does. Like I said, I feel like he can be like one of those fringe top 15 guys that'll, if he can get better, depending on we'll have to see like what more of his game is. If he can string together a good run, maybe we'll see how far he can take it. But as for now, if he can just give me fights like this, just give me some nice violent scraps, I'm more than happy to tune in. And the name Starpoli just really sticks out.
Yeah, that's why like 2 weeks ago when I saw the name, I started laughing. It sounds like a made up evil mob villain.
Right. He's definitely the final boss character, or the main villain.
Like the comic relief mobster.
But hey, man, dude can throw down. So, Laureano Starpoli, keep an eye out. His countrymen love him. Like I said, they were really going nuts for this guy.
I think they were just going nuts. Like, also, shouts to the Argentinian fans who like. Santiago Ponzinibbio didn't like step into the cage until like 3:25 in the morning or something crazy like that. Like they started hella late there just so we could watch at 10 o'clock. So shouts to them because
appreciate you guys for suffering.
Yeah, because they must have been tired out their minds by the time.
I don't know, man. They still had the energy, man. They kept it going.
Yeah.
When their guys were in the cage, they were repping. They definitely put on for the home team. But that rounds out the Fox Sports 1's prelims. And that moves us to the Fight Pass prelims, which I can't really comment on. One of these fights I rewatched and kind of don't remember. The other fight I definitely didn't rewatch. No disrespect, but I felt no motivation to rewatch this fight. Jesus Pinedo defeated Devin Powell via unanimous decision. I did not rewatch this fight. I had no desire to rewatch this fight, and I don't think I missed out on much.
I don't remember this fight. Like, look, I remember Jesus Pinedo is like a really funky kickboxer. And he spent most of the first round catching Devin Powell's kicks and then like throwing him to the ground and then not doing anything with that.
Oh, that was this
Yeah,
fight.
I remember that.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that happened a lot.
Yeah, like it was like 4 or 5 times in the first round by itself. I don't remember the rest of the fight, but I vaguely remember Powell just not being able to catch Pinedo, who was just slightly faster than him. And then there was some grappling. Yeah, I don't remember the rest of this fight.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on. I remember Pinedo had a lot of funky movement. He moved.
Yeah, you know, he is. Yeah, there was some shenanigans.
Yeah, he moved like a video game character. It was strange, but he won a unanimous decision. So that fight happened, and the last fight on the card, Nad Narimani and Anderson Dos Santos. I don't remember this fight a ton. I rewatched it, but I don't remember a lot of it. But I remember it being an entertaining fight, and I remember it being, you know, it was a nice scrap, but I can't remember the finer details. I know Narimani looked pretty good, but I can't tell you anything in specific that he.
I haven't seen a whole bunch of Nat Narimani outside the UFC. Like I know he was in Cage Warriors. He fought for Bama once or twice. But like just looking at his resume before the fight, like he was like he had like 5 submissions and 4 decisions to his record. He's training at Team Alpha Male. Like I kind of assumed he would be like a wrestle grappler. But he looked really good as a striker. Like he was moving his head really well. Was bouncing in and out of range. That kind of it didn't go away, but it slowed down towards the later half of the fight, and he was starting to get tagged a little bit more. But just like an all in all, really good performance against a guy who had a lot of like Anderson Dos Santos is his first UFC fight, but he's had like 30 fights outside the UFC. Like he's not new to this, I should say.
Already a journey.
Yeah. So like it was a good performance all around. So props to Narimani, former Cage Warriors featherweight champion. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and guess how far he goes, but yeah, it was a really good start for him.
There you have it. That was UFC Argentina.
Okay.
Pretty solid card. I probably was a little bit harsh on this card.
I mean, when you have to sit up and watch it from like 7 o'clock to 2 in the morning, you earn the right to be upset.
Yeah. Like now that I'm looking back at it, this card wasn't really that bad. Like there were some good performances. The main card, like rewatching it, went by pretty fast because there were a lot of decisions. It's just like watching these 6 fight cards in real time. It is a task.
Dude, the UFC gets you to invest 7 to 7.5 hours of your time on a Saturday night watching a fight card. Like you deserve to be a little critical of the pacing.
And then I'm mad at myself because I know what they're gonna do to me week in and week out, and I keep coming back. And
I'm mad. I'm mad. We used to have like DVR, like TiVo, and my mom got rid of it, and I'm like, well, shit. Now I have to use MMA Core when I don't catch fights, and like MMA Core is great for like when you miss fights, but like, yeah, okay, so piracy aside, like, why do you guys split up the videos? Because
part 1, part 2.
Because like they only do it for the main card fights. And I know why they do it, because they get more clicks that way. But still, like I used to think it was because like the streaming service they use only let them upload like 6 minutes a video at a time, but now they use Streamable or whatever, and it uploads like 15 full 20-minute videos. And I know this because all the prelim fights are full videos.
Right.
But Ponzinibbio Magny is broken up into like 5 different parts.
Yeah, they're getting those clicks in that ad
Yeah, and
revenue.
it's not even like clean. Like they'll put like the first they'll put the first round and then they'll put like the first like minute and a half of the next round.
Right, second round. Yeah, you guys got to fix that. Even though you're bootlegging, but fix your
I
bootleg.
mean, like I'm not telling you guys you should use MMA Core because you shouldn't. It's bad. Piracy is bad. Bad. Don't do it.
Wink, wink.
But if you do,
Oh man, yeah, we'll leave that at that.
but if you do,
Some of you probably didn't know what MMA Core was, and now you'll.
I mean, if you don't, I mean, you probably maybe you have something better. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe they don't.
Maybe we're the
gotta-
noobs here.
Right. There's another site that's like, oh, you guys watch fights and parts?
Like this what is this 2008 anime? Are we watching Naruto?
We might be trash. we might be.
Is
trash.
it subbed?
Somebody's listening to this. Like they still use MMA Core and they just hit us with the meanest eye roll. Like a bunch of noobs. Oh man. Shout out to MMA Core.
Sensei. Piracy is bad.
It is. It's terrible. It is. Oh, speaking of
You're stealing money straight off of freaking Austin Arnett's children's plates. I hope you're happy with yourself.
I gotta tell everybody on that Tito card. I'm not saying I'm stealing money from you, but
I'm just saying the UFC wasn't going to give you all of it in the first place.
right. So you know, just so you know.
I hope everybody's ready for next week when we have to say all the Chinese names and we get none of them right.
I was not ready for this Tito card. Like I wasn't ready.
I mean, well, you were never going to be ready, and the longer it took you to be ready, the less qualified Chuck Liddell would be to step into a game.
Oh God, yeah, man. Next week, the next time you guys hear from us,
Chuck Liddell will have even fewer brain cells.
Yeah, man. It's
are we all just conceding that Tito's going to win this fight?
Yeah, I hate to say it. I love Chuck. Chuck is like he was like literally one of the people that got me into the sport. But Lord have mercy, this is
like this is the same Tito Ortiz who had like a life or death struggle with Stephen Bonner like 2-3 years ago. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
That just tells you how fortunate. Like, Tito managed to find the one fighter more broken than he was. It just so happened to be his former rival, who he never was able to beat, and now he's going to beat him.
Yeah, he's in prime condition.
Okay, wait.
Well, all right, that's a stretch.
He's in. No, I just remembered I have the video still that I wanted to send you. I'm gonna save this one for when we're done because you have to see that one too. But I'm gonna send you this video of So Chuck Liddell found out that we all saw a video of him doing like pads with Jay Glazer, and we were all laughing at him and crying on the inside. And he was very upset because he was like, "That was just my warm up. That was just me warming up." So the MMA Junkie crew went to his open workout and proceeded to film him hitting pads again. And this is what we got. And I just sent it to you, and now you can tell me if you can spot the difference.
Oh God, did I see? I think I saw this. Hold on. All right, hold on. I'm waiting for I hate that Skype makes me look at this in Internet Explorer. Oh god.
The only difference I spot is that he is now wearing a shirt.
Let me get past this ad. Why is Tyler McGuire in this ad? That's an Air Force ad. Alright, here we go.
I think it's a thumbs up. It's not a thumbs up video.
I mean, he got like 0.5% faster.
He's throwing hard.
But it looks like it hurts him to punch. Like
like if you skip to the 154 mark, Tito is literally there just standing there watching this the entire time.
30 seconds. You can't do
He's
that.
laughing his
That
ass off.
he said you can't get tired.
You guys can call this a quick motherfucking night. I guarantee
He's
you.
just laughing. He's like, oh my god, I'm getting away with this.
That shit was like junk. Oh, I can take myself junk. Wow.
Oh my god.
I guess you are getting...
But you know what though? It'll be so much better if, and yeah, for guys who haven't watched the video, Chuck, it looks like it pains him to throw.
It looks like it pains him to move.
Like, all of this looks like he has to use every bit of his old man energy to get these punches to flow. But there's just this small part of me that I shouldn't listen to, but I'm going to listen to it because I'm stubborn and I'm stupid. If Tito talks all this trash and somehow Chuck lands one of these slow 80-year-old punches, he manages to knock Tito out, it would make everything work.
Chuck is a 50-year-old man still rocking the mohawk, man. That's dedication.
Like Chuck, I'm not gonna. Yeah, he's sticking true to character through and through. I'm probably not gonna pay for this card, but Chuck, I'll cash app you 20 if you knock him out.
That might be all the money he makes from this card.
I'll definitely cash app you I'll cash app you a cool 20 if you get Tito out of here for what better be the last time.
Dude, if he wins, you know he's coming back.
Oh
Like,
boy.
The optimal scenario here is that Tito just takes him down and just chokes him out.
We'll
But
see.
knowing Tito, he
We'll
might go
see.
for ground and pound because fuck Chuck.
Probably. He's gonna drag this fight out to punish
If
him.
if he can.
If he can. God, Jesus Christ.
My favorite thing is that he's wearing a shirt that had to hide the gut, but it's pretty obvious he has the gut.
That kick he threw looked painful. But we're all gonna witness this. You guys are watching too. Don't act like you.
I mean, I never said I was. I said I was here.
Yeah, none of us are above this foolery.
Yeah, I'm here for the foolishness. I'm here for the man who just can't let it go. And I'm here for the man who's here to just collect his check and get his comeuppance.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be an event, to say the least. I'm liking this Beijing card though. I'm looking forward to this.
Don't change the subject.
I'm looking.
Don't change the subject.
Oh no, I gotta get out of there.
we have to do we have to do the honorable thing and inform the public that this card is so hot. Fight TV is running a Black Friday special. If you order the card, Chuck Liddell vs. Tito Ortiz 3 on February 23rd between the time of, I want to say, 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time, you get this card for half off.
Hey,
So
man.
it's going to be $20 on your Fight TV website app thingy, majigger.
And if you're not convinced, if the $20 off on Black Friday doesn't convince you,
I mean, what though?
other fights to entice you to buy this card. Deron Wynn and Tom Lawler.
Oh, baby.
Gleison Tibau and Efrain Escudero.
What?
Walil Watson and Ricardo Palacios.
Oh, my God.
And Jay Silva and Oscar Cota.
Wow.
You might not know who they are, but you should.
I mean, what MMA fan wouldn't know who Oscar Cota is?
I mean, if you don't know, find out on Black Friday for $20. Between the times of what
4 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m.
There you
Eastern
go.
Time. So that would be
Listen.
1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Pacific. I don't know about Mountain Time. I'm doing that math.
Set $20 aside, or use that credit card. Don't look at your statement after you do it. But just do it. Just for the culture.
It's a very fucked up culture.
It's just all for the culture. For $20, we can all sit in unison and watch this glorious train wreck that we will all be a part of, and then try to sit on a moral high ground the next day.
I can't believe they found Dave Terrell.
Oh boy, I can't believe they found anybody to.
Really? I mean, if Oscar De La Hoya called me up and was like, "Hey, you want to fight on the Chuck Liddell Tito Ortiz card in L.A.?" I'd be like, "Sure, I can take a free trip to L.A."
Like, I haven't heard Walil Watson's name in a long time. I don't even remember what Walil Watson looks like. I just know I've seen him fight before. Jesus Christ. Shout out to Gleison Tibau.
He's got the forehead of a 40-year-old man. You know him from his UFC run.
Yeah, I knew I've seen him fight.
He fought Yves Jabouet and lost a split decision, lost to TJ Dillashaw, and then got submitted by Mitch Gagnon. He also beat Joseph Sandoval.
There you go. Shout out to Walil Watson. Still out here collecting checks.
He's probably going to make more money off this fight than Tito is.
Hey man, if there's no other consolation for this card, people are getting paid and they can put food on the table. That'll make me feel
except Tito. Like, I'm sorry, don't take the Kovalev deal. Like, unless you're Floyd freaking Mayweather, don't take the Kovalev deal.
Hey man, Tito's got the master plan.
Tito can't read the master plan. Like,
oh man, but moving on from that card, UFC Beijing. I'm looking forward to this. A lot of names on here I'm actually looking forward to seeing. You got Curtis Blades versus Ngannou, Overeem versus Pavlich, who I still haven't looked at, but I've heard things about that he's worth keeping an eye on. Song Yadong, who I've championed on this podcast, he's fighting against Vince Morales. We got the Leech coming back. The GOAT, Rashad Coulter, is going to be on this
the
card.
greatest heavyweight of all time. He's fighting the only Chinese heavyweight. Hugh Yao Song.
Yeah, he's going to wreck him.
I mean, you say that, but has Rashad Coulter won a fight in the UFC yet?
Hey, man. Rashad Coulter won all of his fights. They just...
He was just a seed for all of them.
Yeah, he's been cheated.
By his brain?
Wait. Weili Zhang is on this card against Aguilar. Zhao Nanyan is on this card. Looking forward to that fight. I didn't even know Kevin Holland's on this card. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this, man. I'm looking forward to a lot of these Chinese fighters.
I'm looking forward to watching it at a cool 1 o'clock in the afternoon because it's on UFC Fight Pass and I can go back and watch it. I don't have to be up at 3:30 in the morning to watch the whole damn thing.
Oh, that means I can sneak and watch this at work.
Yeah.
That's great. That is awesome. And yeah, there you're right. Then I can rewatch it when we get. Oh, that is great. That is great. This card is gonna be awesome. Yes, I won't have to be up. I'm really.
Or
happy.
wait, is it on Sunday? I have
Is
no
it?
idea because it has the date listed
It's
on
on
Wikipedia, but
it's on the 24th.
okay, it's Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah. So that'll be awesome. So yeah, definitely tune in to UFC Beijing, man. There's gonna be a lot of good fights, a lot of good Chinese fighters on there. So that'll be awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it for fights and shenanigans and Tito, Chuck, Cody McKenzie, all that wild stuff. So we will go ahead and close out with parting shots and shout outs. I don't have any shots, but I have a couple of shout outs. LFA had a card that went down on Friday, so I got to shout out a few performances and highlights. Kalen Hill, if I'm saying his name correctly, Kailan Hill. He had a spinning back fist KO that I think was like 11 seconds in. This kid he's 3-0 in LFA. All of his victories are finishes. I want to say they're all knockouts. He's only 23. He's at middleweight, which could mean good things. You know, a young middleweight, somebody who's not like he's not a tough dad. He's the young guy. So I don't know if he's going to the UFC, but I feel like a lot of, if you pay attention to the LFA, a lot of their good prospects, most of them end up in the UFC if they go on a good run. And I would imagine with 3 straight wins, all finishes, we might see this guy make a step to the big league. So shout out to Kalen Hill for that highlight. We may see him in the UFC, I would think, maybe at some point in the future. Also on that same card, Zabina Mazo defended her flyweight belt. She is now 6-0. She had a very one-sided performance. I cannot remember the woman she fought.
Excuse me. Caroline Yarawak de Cruz.
Yeah, she beat her up. She 5-round. I will say though, the only thing that disappointed me in Zabina's performance, I felt like she kind of coasted because she knew she was gonna win. But either way, she beat her up. Like, the fight was not remotely competitive at all. But Sabina 6-0. She's only like 21. Yeah, she's really young. So somebody to keep an eye on that flyweight. You would think eventually she'll make it to the UFC at some point. So she's 6-0. Shout outs to her for defending her belt. And my last shout out will go to on a non-combat sport related note. Shout outs to Sue Bird. She got hired to the Denver Nuggets as a
front office person. I don't know.
A basket. They call it a basketball operations associate. I don't know what that is, but it's a job and it gives her some checks. So
Hey,
that's always good. And it's kind of wild because she just won a title last year, right?
She won the Seattle Storm won the 2018 women's the WNBA championship. Yeah, and the US team also won the World Cup in September.
So she won a WNBA championship. She's coming back for another season, which would make it 17 seasons, and she's gonna have this job. So that's a lot to do at one time.
She also might be playing overseas.
Well, I think the article I read says she's retiring.
Okay.
Overseas. I think I read that. Yeah, she's. I think after getting this position, she retired.
That makes sense.
But either way, like you just won a championship, you get this job, and then technically you're still playing. And I think she's like 38. 38, I want to say.
Yeah. 30.
Yeah, she's been around for a while.
Her and Lindsay Whalen, former player for the Minnesota Lynx. Like Lindsay Whalen got a coach. She's the coach of the University of Minnesota. She got the job actually before the season started. So she's been recruiting while she was a player for the Minnesota Lynx. So like you got to hustle when you're not getting paid a whole lot by the W. So
yeah. So shout out to her, man. Get your money. And she's being a part of the Nuggets, who are their team's pretty good this year. They have a lot of young talent, so I think she's in a good hopefully she can be a part of an organization that's may finally be like turning the corner and hopefully hitting a stride. So definitely shout outs to her.
If Seattle had an NBA team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OKC.
I mean, that was at least. No, I don't want to talk about Seattle's basketball woes.
I miss the Supersonics.
I do. I mean, everybody does.
Shout out to Sean Kemp, wherever he is.
On his home planet.
Yeah. And, I think, well, on an NFL note, even though I haven't really watched the NFL this season, shout out to Lamar Jackson. He got his first NFL win today, starting. Beat the Bengals 24-21.
As far as I'm concerned, the only MVP is the guy who quit halfway through the first game of the season. I don't remember his name, but
did you hear about the coach who did that?
No, but he is also a brave soul, and I respect him.
I wish I had. Hold on, I gotta hold up. I'm going to find this story real.
Coach
quick.
of the year.
Okay. Okay, hold up. He was a Division III coach at East Stroudsburg. His name is Denny Dowds. He retired during his team's game against Ohio Dominican. In the game's final seconds, Dowds called a fourth timeout, which if you follow football, you don't have 4 timeouts. You only have 3. He called the timeout to let his team know he would be retiring after 45 years. And he told the he told the official that when he called the timeout, like, I know it's illegal, but it's okay, I'm retiring. So like he knew, so he knew he was gonna get penalized, and he just didn't care because he's like, I'm retiring. So shout outs to Denny Dowds. Shout outs to this trend of just retiring mid-game. Oh man, crazy times we live in. But that's all I got for parting shots and shout outs.
Shouts to Caressa Shields and Jerome Miller, who won their fights on DAZN. Caressa Shields fought a professional bassoon player, a bassoonist, if you will. She was supposed to fight Christina Hammer on Showtime, but the fight fell apart because Christina Hammer got sick or something. She's not cleared to fight yet. I think they're aiming to have that fight in March. And Jarrell Miller fought a guy, heavyweight. So I'll give him this. He looks good for a dude who weighs 315 pounds. Like,
Jesus Christ,
no, he doesn't, like, he looks big, but he doesn't look fat. If you know what I mean. Like, he's
like that, the athletic big.
Yeah, and which is weird because
like
he's not a really good athlete. Like, he's a pressure volume guy. Like, he strangely has an engine on him, but I wouldn't call him athletic. But I'm gonna just send you a picture of him because it's just so weird. Like, you look at the dude and he looks like a bodybuilder, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Oh no, I can see it. He is big.
Yeah,
but he's not like sloppy.
He's like football player, I guess.
Yeah, he's like NFL lineman big. Like, he's big, but he's sturdy.
It would take a lot to knock him out.
Yeah, that's a big man.
He felt like, I'm going to call him a Romanian cab driver. Like, I don't know anything about Bogdan Dinu. He might have been like a great boxer in the amateurs, but like they tried to offer this fight to like this 45-year-old who hasn't fought in like 4 years. And they tried to pay him $1 million to take it. And it reminds me that heavyweight's a crap division everywhere. It makes me sad.
You didn't take the $1 million?
It was just like, maybe he was like, my health is more important to me, or maybe he was like, maybe Anthony Joshua will pay me more to fight him in April. But no. So, shouts to those two. Shouts to all the women actually competing in the Women's ABA World Championships over in New Delhi. Team USA is like 1-4-6. Maybe one. I'm gonna go 1-6. They've had like 5 or 6 women lose in the very first round, and only one make it out the first round so far. They got like 3 more to go. Shouts to Virginia Fuchs, who is that one woman who made out the first round. She won her first 2 fights. She's in the round of 16, I think. So she wins 2 more fights and she gets a medal, I believe. 1 or 2 more fights. We fielded a young team, really inexperienced. Like 2 or 3 of the women, like 2 of the women are like 20. Like they are young. Like, and they are not. One of them isn't new to boxing. Like she's from a boxing family, but they're new to international competition. So, so I'm not too stressed about the 2020 Olympics. Stacia Suttles has only been boxing for like 6 years, like 4. Not even. She started in 2014. It's like 4 years. So, like it's a young team. They'll get better. They'll be ready by the Olympics, and hopefully one of them wins a gold medal and then goes pro. And then we have a deeper field for the women's game. So I'm looking forward to that. But finals, they end on like the 24th, the women's championship. So if you're interested, go catch you can go watch them on YouTube. Like they're streaming them all live, and they're on like the BFI YouTube, the Boxing Federation of India's YouTube page. So you can catch them there. Watch them in clean 1080 resolution.
See, the violence is always there. Everywhere, somewhere around the world, somebody's getting punched.
Yep,
somewhere.
It's human nature.
Yeah, you can always watch it. But yeah, man, that's been another episode of the Dojo Talk podcast. And actually, I just realized now that we're recording this, happy Thanksgiving to you guys, because the next time you hear from us, it'll be after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So hope you guys have a nice holiday, eat some good food, save me some sweet potato pie if you guys.
4 days off, bro.
I wish I could say the same. I'm off for Thanksgiving, but I'm right back.
God damn.
Yeah. I think, did we get off early today? I don't even remember if we get off early the day before. Well, it doesn't matter because I've been early.
Sound like my brother. He works for Nordstrom's. He has to go back to work that midnight.
Oh, that's trash. All right, my job, they don't do that.
No, it's not even like, that's the thing though. He's not even like working the floor anymore. He's doing like online team stuff. So like, it's like if you have a problem with the online store, you want to order something online, he has to be there at like midnight for you to order stuff. It's ridiculous.
Shout outs to all of the people who, unfortunately, I've worked Black Fridays in my life. I've done 3, I want to say. Shout outs to you guys, man. May the force be with you. All that good stuff. Black Fridays are not fun.
Don't get trampled, please.
Yeah, don't get trampled. Please treat the people who are like working the Black Friday sales please be nice. No, they don't want to be there. They're faking smiles. Nobody really wants to be there, but you got to get paid. You got to do what you got to do.
Real talk. If somebody's working retail, their life is shitty enough that they don't need you being upset that they don't smile at you.
Yeah.
So just shut up. Go buy your fucking TV that's like $10 off and leave.
And don't hit them with that, I can't believe they're making you guys work. Don't ever say
No, because you're here. You're in the in the store. You
are
right.
actively
Like-
ruining their day.
Yeah. You're the cause of this. It's you.
It's your fault.
It's literally
You should be
you.
ashamed of yourself. Shame.
Go home. Go home. Eat food. Watch football and go to
Spend
sleep.
time with your family. Like, pretend you like them.
Right. Don't buy that TV that's gonna break in like 3 days anyway.
Like,
You don't even watch
yeah, exactly.
TV.
What are you getting a TV for? You have a laptop. You have a smartphone and iPad or tablet or something. Like, control yourself.
Yeah, you guys are trash. This got dark really quick.
They
But
need
happy
to hear
Thanksgiving.
this.
They do. They won't listen, but they do.
Go outside.
Hopefully you listen to this like right before you go Black Friday shopping and you stop.
Go outside. Go take a walk. Hug a tree.
There you
Play
go.
with squirrels. I don't know.
Yeah, do something productive instead of buying and making people's lives
Oh,
miserable.
shout out
But,
to Rye because they close all their stores on Black Friday.
See, everybody needs to do that. Rest of you companies need to get in
Then
line.
there would be no Black Friday.
Hey,
All right.
man,
Why can't you
We have
just
to crack.
push the sales back a weekend?
yeah, they're honestly not that good anyway. Most of these sales, like, they come right back around during Christmas.
Yeah.
Really, the only good sales are the TVs. Like, all of the other stuff that's on sale is kind of trash.
Yeah, like most of it's not even on sale. It's just like I remember like back in the day when they used to do like toys and stuff. It was just like, oh, we're releasing all the new toys on Black Friday, and then people
You guys are
rush
being
to
duped.
go get them, and then they would be back on shelves like 2 weeks later for Christmas. Y'all stupid.
Yeah, y'all are being duped,
Go
bamboozled.
buy stuff online. Like really, who goes to a store anymore?
Cyber Monday's where it's at. Even though the poor Amazon workers gotta suffer for that. That's
I mean,
another story.
yeah, fuck Amazon.
But hope you guys have a nice holiday.
All I'm learning about myself this episode is I just really hate everything.
That's what happens as you get older. Everything annoys you. If you guys have watched season 2 of Castlevania on Netflix, the older I get, I realize I'm just like Dracula who's sitting in that chair all day, and I'm just kind of angry at everybody. And it's like, I don't want any of you to be here anymore. Just leave me
Why
alone.
are you existing in my presence?
Yeah, just get out. Just go. But you guys, man, have a nice Thanksgiving. Have a nice holiday. Be sure to give us a listen on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. Hit us up on Facebook at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page, and hit me up on Twitter at Serial Sensei. And that is it. As always, anytime people are being punched and or kicked in the face, we will be there to talk about it. You guys have a nice holiday, and until next time, we will catch you later.